from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. CBS Sports presents the Green Bay Packers versus the Washington Redskins. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with George Allen. Welcome to RFK Stadium, and a mighty big ball game, George, particularly for the Washington Redskins.
Yes, Vin. The Redskins have to win today. They're playing at home, and they're playing a team that has a defense that they should be able to move the ball on.
For the Green Bay Packers, battling for pride, if nothing else, they're starting a veteran quarterback who hasn't played in quite a while, Lynn Dickey.
I think if Dickey has the protection, he'll do a good job. I've always liked Lynn Dickey.
And maybe I should qualify, he did play last week, but actually he hasn't played really in quite some time.
No, he hasn't. Dickey can read coverages. He may be a little bit immobile because of the injury he had 2 years ago.
And it'll be interesting to see if Washington, who was so flat last week against the Giants, now they're at home with a highly emotional crowd, whether this crowd will be able to get them up. And we can take a look at the Washington Redskins huddling right now down on the field. The Green Bay Packers won the toss, and they have elected to receive. And deep will be Andre Thompson, number 89. And, of course, kicking off for the Redskins, Mark Mosley. So the Skins in pursuit of the Philadelphia Eagles and tied with Dallas. And, of course, we'll be checking in on scores of the other ball games. The Giants playing at Dallas and Philadelphia hosting Detroit. And for the Green Bay Packers, that is Thompson, number 89. Up front, you see Wellman along with Wagner and Landers. But it is Andre Thompson who is expected to bust one if anybody can do it. He's standing on about his 4-yard line. Temperature 42 degrees, and that figures to be about as high as it'll get all day. Here we go. Mosley getting a lot of altitude on the kickoff, and Andre Thompson takes it on the 5, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25. Fumble, loose ball. And Green Bay recovering Andre Thompson's fumble on about the 28-yard line, and the man who fell on it after the tackle he made was Rich Milot, but he was too late to get the ball.
And Thompson is limping off the field. He injured his leg.
So Thompson shaken up, and now the Pack, who have not won on the road, although they have won 3 in Milwaukee, will begin to test this Redskin defense that has been one of the better defenses in the conference. Veteran Lynn Dickey, who came into the league in 1971, handing off to Torkelson, and he stacked at the 30-yard line, so he might have picked up a couple, maybe 2. That should make it 2nd and 8.
Well, they started out with the first play running the right side of the Redskins defense, where the Giants made a lot of yardage last week.
Now it's a question to see whether Green Bay will have somebody who can run like a Billy Taylor. So 2nd and 7 as they spot the ball on the 31-yard line. Cassidy going wide right with Lofton in a slot right. And it'll be the second man, Simpson, and he's grabbed up by Coy Bacon at the 30-yard line and dragged down. Nate Simpson doing a little running for Turdell Middleton, who was banged up.
Well, here it is. Still running the right side of the Redskin defense. Coy Bacon slipped the blocker and made the play.
So 3rd and 8 on the 30 for Lynn Dickey. And he's going to put it up. Lort's trying to get at him, and Dickey with a little extra time throws and completes to Cassidy, but he's out of bounds. So Cassidy made the reception out of bounds. Lamar Parrish was there defending in front of the Redskin bench, and so the Pack unable to move the ball, and they will have to punt. The punter is somebody you know, George, Dave Beverly.
Yeah, we had Dave Beverly, a tough decision whether to keep Mike Bragg or David Beverly. I was that much impressed with Beverly, and I think he's one of the better punters in the league.
He's averaging 40 yards a punt, his longest 65 yards. He was a walk-on out of Auburn. And deep is Bobby Hammond standing on the Redskin 35. Pull up a chair, just the start of things. Redskins with a rush, but Beverly kicks one end over end. And it takes a skin bounce inside the 45, and it'll go down around the 48-yard line, where it is down by Steve Wagner. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited. So the Skins start off in perfect field position on their own 49-yard line, and a banged-up Benny Malone is starting anyway, along with John Riggins in the Redskin backfield. And they go slot right. Theismann going to the left side to the tight end, Don Warren. He's hit at the 45 and dragged out of bounds. Steve Luke hit him and pushed him out. But the first play is a pass, Coach.
You know, I think that tells us something. Last week, the Redskins were very conservative in their loss to the Giants. I think you're going to see the offense open up a little more. Joe Walton sending all the plays into Joe Theismann.
By the way, our apologies to the good folks in Washington, D.C. for the last couple of plays. They were watching the wrong ball game, Chicago and Tampa, but I think we've hooked up our signals. And the first thing they do is to look at Bart Starr, the coach and general manager of the Packers. 2nd and 2 on the 43. Slot right, McDaniel inside Buds. Theismann on a play-action fake. Good rush, but he lobs it up to Riggins, and he's hit by McCoy and goes out of bounds, but he got his first down at the Packer 35.
Well, Joe had pretty good protection. Here's the fake, play-action fake. He wanted to go downfield. The man was covered, and he dumped it off to Riggins.
So the Skins picking up their first down. 1st and 10 on the Packer 35-yard line on that little release to John Riggins. And they send Danny Buggs wide right, a full house for the moment, and then Ricky Thompson comes up on a wing behind Don Warren and goes in motion. Harmon, number 38, running inside Johnson, who turns around and comes back to get him. Not a bad play by Ezra Johnson. Number 90, who appeared to be blocked out of it, but he wouldn't quit and got his man.
I like Ezra Johnson. I think the Packers made a tremendous selection when they picked him in the first round. He can do one thing that you look for in a defensive lineman, and that's rush the passer.
And last year, Ezra Johnson, number 90, had 20.5 sacks. He was number 2 in the NFL. Harmon comes out, and Malone is back in there, and Thompson goes wide left. McDaniel is wide right. Second man, John Riggins, and a good block by Malone. He got by Wingo, and he goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Sore back or not, Benny Malone threw a pretty good block.
That's why Benny's in there. He's a good blocker. He's a good, tough, hard-nosed football player, and his block made that play possible.
They will spot the ball just shy of the 25, and they have to get to the 25 for the first down. So it is 3rd down and less than a foot. In the early going here at RFK Stadium, no score. The Redskins, starting on their own 49, have moved it to less than a foot of a first down on the Packer 25. Harmon is on a wing now with Malone and Riggins, the setbacks. And it'll be Malone going around the block by Williams, and he gets down to the 21-yard line. Mike Douglas making the tackle. Jeff Williams was leading the play.
Well, there was no penetration at the point of attack. Nobody got across. Here we see it. 3rd and 1 situation. You have to be low, get across. No contain man. Malone makes the first down. Now, you know, the Packers defense has been criticized. You got to figure the field position where the opposition gets that ball.
And if Green Bay is expecting to get the ball, they should remember that Washington has only 21 turnovers this year, fewest in the NFL. Malone a little undecided now, and finally Riggins goes out on a wing. Theismann looking left and low, and Riggins can't hold it, and then takes a bump from Mike McCoy.
Again, 2 things. Joe wanted to go downfield. He dumped it off to Riggins. Riggins was his outlet man. He didn't want to throw the ball to John Riggins. That's why he was looking downfield and threw the ball low. The Packers are going to have to put more pressure on than that. He had too much time to throw.
Another thing for Theismann now, counting today, he has a streak of 89 consecutive passes without an interception, and when you see him throw the ball down like that, you can understand why. Ricky Thompson going wide left, and they shake the tight end Warren loose, but then they tighten him up again, and McDaniel goes wide right. Theismann with both backs out, and he goes deep down the middle to Ricky Thompson. Touchdown. For Ricky Thompson, his 4th touchdown pass of the year.
Well, we had 2 things there. We had good protection, plenty of time to throw. Look at this. Joe spotted him. He was wide open. Kind of loose coverage.
Mike McCoy making the tackle, but it was all over by then.
Playing him too loose, too much time.
Now we'll take a look at Mark Mosley, who has kicked 26 out of 26, make it 27. And actually, in the last 3 years, he's 76 out of 77. Take another look at Joe Theismann tossing his 14th touchdown pass of the year to Ricky Thompson. The Skins lead 7-0. The Redskins made it look easy, going in 7 plays for 50 yards, capped on that Theismann to Ricky Thompson 20-yard touchdown pass. Took them 2.5 minutes to do it. And it is 7-0 Redskins, and Green Bay trying to come back as Mark Mosley will kick off high and deep to Andre Thompson, who will back into the end zone and let it stay there. Cassidy telling him, don't you come out. So Thompson handling the touchback, and the Pack will put it in play. 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line, and we'll see now if Lynn Dickey can get something going.
Going back to what I said before, sometimes you criticize a defense, but where they get the football, turnovers, all those are factors that are unfair to the defense. I think Coach Hanner, I've known him for years, is a heck of a coach. I think he's got a fine defensive system. It's just a matter of having the players to fit that system.
And it's pretty tough to give a ball club the ball on their own 49-yard line, and the Skins just moved in. So now let's see about Dickey. He has Thompson in motion to the left, and it'll be the second man, Torkelson, and they stack him up after a yard or 2 at the most.
Well, they're hitting that what we call the 6-hole. Again, the Redskins right side of the line. I think you can try that a little bit, but if you aren't making any yardage on it, you got to get away from it, because after you've been hurt on a certain spot in your defense, you're going to strengthen it for the next game.
You know, one of the problems for the Packers, they've had so many men injured this year. They've had 21 players miss 2 games, and 14 have been on and off the injured reserve list. Dickey looking right, intended for Andre Thompson, and he makes the catch at the 30, and he goes out of bounds at the 31, and that should be enough for the first down. We can duck in quickly. Pittsburgh leading Cincinnati 3-0 as you look at Lynn Dickey. Dickey, a man who suffered a hip injury in 72, a shoulder injury in 76, broke his leg in 77, and making a start. There, Ricky Thompson, who scored his 4th touchdown of the year, taking a brief respite on the Redskin bench.
And he dropped one last week. It was a big play in the end zone.
Right through his hands. 1st and 10 for the Pack on its own 31. In motion is the tight end, Kaufman. And they flip back to Torkelson. Torkelson nosing it out almost to the 35-yard line.
Torkelson's a good hard-nosed football player. He lacks a little speed that you'd like to get to the outside, but he's a steady guy and does the job.
I'll say one thing. In the 5 starts that he has had this year, he's averaged better than 4.5 yards a carry. And he's coming off his best rushing game, 88 yards last week against the Eagles. So it is 2nd and 6. The ball just shy of the 35. 7-0 Washington, the early going. Torkelson across the 35. Tough yardage as he gets out to about the 38-yard line, and he'll have to get just beyond the 41 for the first down.
Vin, the reason we've had 2 passes on Parrish's side, you wonder why they would be thrown on Parrish, who has good hands and leads the league in interceptions. They're doubling Lofton, number 80 on the other side, the Redskins are, so it makes one-on-one on Parrish when Lofton's against him.
And Parrish right now will pick up Andre Thompson as Lofton is on the left side. Dickey getting some protection and throwing over the head of the tight end, Paul Kaufman, but there's a flag on the play. Kaufman having a big year, so we might keep an eye on number 82.
Well, Bart Starr likes Kaufman holding on the Redskin defense. He runs a 4.6 40, and that's good speed for a tight end.
And as far as Kaufman's numbers are concerned, he's caught 45, including a 78-yard touchdown pass. He's caught 2 for TDs, so we'll watch him carefully. Meanwhile, the Packers will pick up the first down automatically.
Holding defense, number 24, 5 yards, first down.
So they've moved it out to the Packer 43-yard line. Remember, they started on the 20.
Really, the strength of the Redskin defense is their secondary. Now, Kenny Houston, of course, isn't in there. 23, Peters is taking his place, but that's the strength of their defense.
1st and 10 on the Packer 43-yard line. In motion is Andre Thompson. Dickey play action fake, and Lynn is going deep with the bomb, and the closest man is Lavender, and he intercepts it inside the 20-yard line. Joe Lavender was all alone, and Lofton never had a chance.
I want to tell you, that looked like a broken play, but Dickey had a good call here. He wanted Lofton deep, one-on-one. They just didn't communicate on it. He expected Lofton deeper. Here's that last interception. Lofton slows down here. Watch this. You see that? He almost stopped. Dickey expected him deeper, and he overthrew him. It was a good call by Dickey and could have been a big play. Joe Lavender made the big play for the Redskins.
So it is 1st and 10 for Washington on the Skins 17-yard line. Buggs goes wide right and McDaniel left. In motion is Ricky Thompson. And Theismann throwing wide to Danny Buggs, who is at the 20-yard line, and the pack brings him down right there. Gary Weaver, who is playing for a banged-up John Anderson, making the first hit. Bart Starr, you know, a lot of people have forgotten. He was a 17th round draft choice back in 1956. He had an injured back in Alabama, so a lot of people stayed off him. And he set several records in the NFL. One of them, 294 passes without an interception.
Tremendous.
Remarkable player.
He's a tremendous guy, has a wonderful family.
2nd and 7 on the Skins 20-yard line. In motion is Thompson. John Riggins with daylight. Wingo hits him straight up, drives him back to the 20, but they'll give him about 2 on the carry and move it out to the 22.
Then Wingo showed me something there. That's a tough play for a rookie linebacker. Usually you pull out of there and leave that middle open. Now watch 50. Watch him stay at home, keep inside leverage, and when Riggins cuts back, there he is. Head on tackle. Good defensive play.
Wingo was a 7th round draft choice. They got him in a deal with San Diego for Buchanan. So it is 3rd and 5 on the 22 for Washington, leading 7-0. Ike Forte along with Harmon in the backfield. Wingo got Theismann, and down he goes. So Theismann grabbed by Wingo and then Ezra Johnson. And for Joe Theismann, the 28th time he's been sacked this year.
It's interesting because my note here was the Packers are not a dogging team, and they're going to have to dog to give a little more pressure on the quarterback, and that's what they did.
And now Mike Bragg, who has averaged a little better than 38 a punt, has not had one blocked in several years and 1 in 5 years. The deep man is John Gray, standing on the Packer 48. Towering punt. Gray at his 45 for a fair catch as he backs off to the 43. Standing right there was Don Harris, eyeballing him in case he decided to bring it back. We have 6 minutes and 58 seconds left in the first quarter. Washington on a 20-yard touchdown pass from Theismann to Thompson, leading 7-0. Friends, you might file this picture away for future reference during the game. That's Howard Sampson, number 36 of Green Bay. And look, he's all alone. He came awfully close to blocking that Mike Bragg punt, and we'll keep an eye on him the next time the Skins are in a punting situation.
Yeah, he got a late start. If he'd have gotten off on the ball, he'd had a chance to block it.
1st and 10 for the Pack on its own 44-yard line. Lofton is wide right. Thompson is wide left. And Lofton in motion. It'll be the second man. That's Nate Simpson. And he's going to be stacked up by Carl Lortz just about at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Carl Lortz made a good play on that, and you need a lot of speed to sweep, to run the 8 and 9 hole, the wide plays, because the extra step makes the difference. It makes the blockers block look a little bit better than it is.
You know, last year after 13 games, the Pack scored 218. But this year, they've only scored 193, and the defense has given up 250. So they've been hurting. 2nd and 10, and the tight end, Kaufman, goes to a wing and then goes in motion. Dickey getting pretty good protection over the middle, and he's got Torkelson to Redskin territory at the 45.
Now, Torkelson did something there, Vin, that I like to see. This is just a circle pattern. Now watch Dickey pick him out. Now watch him lower his head and go forward to get the first down. He's moving forward. Now, right in here, he lowers the boom and gets the first down.
So Lynn Dickey, who was intercepted by Lavender on a bomb, now comes back 1st and 10 on the Skins 45. A little swing to Torkelson, and he is picked up by Wysocki, and Pete brings him down. So Wysocki just went out and stayed with him and made the tackle easily.
And you described it just like we would coach Wysocki to do it, Vin. Latch onto him, go right out with him. Whether he gets the ball or not, stay out there. If he throws the ball, you're going to hit him for a loss. And that's what Pete did.
That's what it was, a loss of 4 to make it 2nd and 14. The ball is on the Redskin 49. There is Zeke Bratkowski. Fine quarterback in his playing days. And under some conditions with David Whitehurst, he'll be flashing in the signs,
yes.
But evidently not today. Dickey under a rush. Down he goes. Coy Bacon got him by the ankles. And for Bacon, that's his 10th sack of the year.
I think, again, I mentioned earlier on the show that if Dickey has the time, he'll do a good job. He's a smart quarterback. That time the Redskins dogged him. He didn't have the time. The strength of the Green Bay's team, I would think, is that offensive line. I think they've got a good offensive line.
And yet they allow too many sacks, George. That's 35 sacks. You can say the offensive line has surrendered. So now it is 3rd and 22. Moments ago it was 1st and 10. Tullis, a burner, is wide left. Dickey on a deep drop. And he's throwing to Lofton, and Lofton makes the reception at the 35.
Great
and
catch.
that's very close. It might be a first down.
Great catch and a great throw. And they gave him protection that time. Here it is. Now watch Lofton. Wherever Lofton is, now he's on Parrish, and he's pushing off. Now the ball is in the air. Now watch him leave his feet and dive for it.
Where he hit was shy of the first down, so it'll be 4th and about 1. For Lofton, that's his 44th reception. He has 4 touchdown catches. And the Pack trying to go for it now, just inches shy. All they have to do is get to the stripe for the first down. Torkelson and Simpson behind Dickey. And Simpson in motion. And it's Torkelson, first down.
Well, it's where they spot it. It looks like he has it. But you're never sure until they spot that ball. It's a judgment thing.
And the Redskins are saying that he didn't make it naturally. Neil Olkowitz, the middle linebacker, hit him, but he appeared to have gotten across that first down plane. So it is a first down. 1st and 10 on the 35.
And then that pass play shows that if Dickey has the time, he'll be a factor today.
A very hungry Green Bay ball club that has not won a road game this year. Although they have won 3 in Milwaukee, but that's their second home. 1st and 10 on the Skin 35. 7-0 Washington. 3:57 left in the first quarter. And it's Simpson. And he squirts across the 30. A little low gravity play there. And Nate Simpson moving into the 30. And again, there's Zeke Bratkowski.
Yeah, Zeke did a heck of a job. Zeke was with the Bears when I was in Chicago. There's the signal.
Was that a waggle?
Right. It could be. That could be a signal. With an experienced quarterback like Dickey, you don't have to help him quite that much. But he sent in a signal for this play.
2nd and 5 on the Redskin 30. Torkelson still driving to the 26-yard line, and they stack him up there. We can duck in a score for you for the moment. The Jets leading Baltimore 3-0 as Dave Jacobs kicked a 28-yard field goal in the first quarter.
Zeke made a signal. They have 3 or 4 sets of signals. They change them because some ball clubs will film the man slaying in the plays and then take that back and study it all week. So you have to have 3 or 4 different sets, just like you do in baseball.
So it is 3rd and 1 on the Redskin 26-yard line. Torkelson and Simpson behind Dickey. Lofton is on a wing, and Simpson is in motion. Here comes Torkelson, cutting back inside, fumble! And the Redskins have recovered. Don Harris recovering. And the Redskins come up with another turnover, and they lead the league in turnovers this year.
Here it is. They're running the Redskins right side. Looks like he might have the first down. He's hit by Perry Brooks and fumbles.
Eric Torkelson has just committed the 19th Packer fumble of the year. That's #1 in the NFC, and the 38 Green Bay turnovers, high in the conference behind St. Louis and 3rd in the league. The only thing about that that's shocking, who do you think leads the league in turnovers? The Pittsburgh Steelers. 1st and 10 Skins on their own 33. John Riggins able to get outside, and Wingo rides him out of bounds at about the 44-yard line.
Well, those Packer linebackers are going to have to do a better job of getting across the line of scrimmage and containing that, because from the looks of things, with a guy like Riggins, they can run that all day. But going back to those fumbles, you can't fumble the ball when you have a chance to put points on the board. That breaks the morale of your defense down, your kicking game, the whole football.
Not to mention what it does to your defensive unit and its spirits. 1st and 10 on the Redskin 43. In motion is Ricky Thompson. John Riggins looking for a hole, and he swallowed up. Jones, number 63, hit him first. We have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first quarter, and the Redskins are leading 7-0. If you joined us a little late, Ricky Thompson catching a 20-yard pass from Joe Theismann. Looked like the Packers might have a drive from their own 20. They got to the Redskin 26 for a 3rd and 1, and then Eric Torkelson fumbled. As you look now at Dave Hanner, the beleaguered defensive coach of the Packers.
He has that different color jacket on, so the players can see him when he signals in the defenses.
2nd and 8 on the 45, and there's Harmon, and he's drilled. Gano hit him right at the line of scrimmage.
Dave sends in all the signals. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. He's a good coach, solid guy, and I hate to see what he's going through right now.
Part of the territory, isn't it?
Yeah, that's part of. He just made a signal, tipped his hat. There's another one. It's part of the profession.
3rd and 8 on the 45, thanks to that hard-nosed tackle by Jim Gano at the line of scrimmage. Thompson left and Buggs right, and you have Forte and Harmon behind Theismann. Under a rush from Johnson, and it's through the hands of Don Warren, the tight end.
You said, Vinny, Johnson made that possible. Johnson got rid of the blocker. Ezra Johnson, not completely healthy, but can rush the passer, and he made Joe throw off this target.
By the way, a note of another game in progress. Harold Carmichael has just made his 110th reception of the year. It was a 45-yard pass from Jaworski, as you see Pittsburgh leading in its game. A fair catch, and there's standing room only down there. Well, let's see if the ball was touched. There are flags, and particularly one back on the 27-yard line.
Well, he didn't. He signaled for a fair catch, but it looks like he didn't have a chance to make the catch. Someone was in his way.
So if they tied him up, let's see. Feeling very chipper about things is Don Hover, number 58 of the special teams. You can see that right hand high in the air. And the ball went right over Harris's shoulder.
It looked like it hit his shoulder pad.
It might have.
So that's interference with a right to make a fair catch.
So if it hit Don Harris, number 26.
Number 52, kicking team, illegally downfield. Recue. Fair catch interference of kicking team, 1st down for the receiver.
So you see the Packers had 2 penalties to work with, and they go at the interference. So they will put the ball in play on their own 28-yard line.
We didn't see it, but Mike Bragg had a real high snap. Almost went over his head. He just jumped and tipped the ball. The Packers were not rushing anybody, or they would have been able to block it.
So putting the infraction together with the fair catch, the Packers will finally put it in play 1st and 10 on the Pack 43-yard line. So they have very good field position with Washington leading 7-0. 52 seconds left in the first quarter. Lofton goes left. Andre Thompson goes right. Second man is Simpson. He got by Brad Dusak, and that enabled him to get back to the line of scrimmage, if nothing else.
Well, then what's taking place with the set of running backs the Packers have, it's basically an inside running attack. And the Redskin linebackers are getting across real well. so that they can't go wide. So their strength right now is to throw the football and make what they can on first down so that Dickey doesn't have to be sacked.
2nd and 10 on the Packer 43. Dickey setting up, getting pretty good protection, throwing to the left, juggled by Andre Thompson, and then he's knocked out of bounds by Lavender at about the 48-yard line. They picked up 5. Had he made a clean reception, he would have gone forward for at least another yard or 2. So it'll be 3rd and 5 from the 48, and the gun has sounded for the end of the first quarter. So Washington went 50 yards in 7 plays, a 20-yard touchdown to Ricky Thompson. They lead 7-0. From RFK Stadium in Washington, Vin Scully along with George Allen. Welcome to the start of the second quarter. It's 3rd and 5 for the Pack on its own 48, with the Redskins leading 7-0.
The Packers have number 87 in there, Vin. Walter Tullis, who has great speed. He runs a 4.340.
Well, they have 2 racehorses now with Lofton in a slot left inside Tullis. And now Lofton in motion. Dickey on 3rd and 5, going down the middle, and he's got Tullis. And there goes the racehorse.
You know,
his first touchdown of the year, and you spotted him, George.
Well, I tell you what, nobody can cover that guy one-on-one, Vin. We drafted him when I was with the Redskins. Here it is again. Now watch Walter Tullis. Waddy's trying to take away the inside, but he couldn't do it. They dog, so it's a one-on-one. Now, there he goes. Nobody's going to catch him. We drafted him, and we had him on defense. He's a little too small for defense. Bart Starr brought him in, put him on offense. That's where he belongs.
Pressure now on the point after, because Tim Burney is only 2 for 5 in points, replacing the injured Chester Markle. Burney, who was born in Scotland, has to kick it through, and does. And so just at the turn at the start of the second quarter, we can take another look at Walter Tullis, 2 years out of Delaware State.
Here it is, an all-out blitz by the Redskins, one-on-one. Tullis, with his racehorse speed, goes all the way.
52 yards to tie it up. A great lineup tonight on CBS, starting with 60 Minutes, then followed by Archie Bunker's Place, One Day at a Time, Alice, the Jeffersons, Trapper John, M.D. Right here tonight on CBS. So Tim Burney has gotten the Pack even, 7-7, and for Lynn Dickey, his 2nd touchdown pass of the year, the first catch for Tullis for a TD, and the Pack is even with the Redskins. Bobby Hammond deep for the Skins on his 2-yard line, pushing off and heading upfield to the 20, and dragged down at the 24-yard line by Merrill. Casey Merrill finally got him. They will spot it just shy of the 25. For Green Bay, they struck quickly, 3 plays, 57 yards. The pass was 52. And the possession, as you see, 1:01. So each team has struck from the air.
With Lofton and Tullis, it's pretty tough to defense those guys. If Dickey has the time, one of them should be open.
1st and 10 on the Redskin 25. Riggins, Malone, and Ricky Thompson. And Thompson in motion. Second man, Benny Malone. And he got maybe a yard or 2 at the most. First man to hit him was Ezra Johnson, number 90. There are 2 Johnsons up front for Green Bay. Ezra, number 90, and Charlie, number 99. And by the way, George, when you look at the front 4, one thing is the size of the Pack.
Excellent point, Vin. That's right. When you see a guy like Charles Johnson, who's listed at 6'2", you know he's probably 6'1". He must be pretty good because he's not in there because of size and height.
So that's a shortcoming, and no pun intended. 2nd and 8 on the 27. Theismann with both backs out, hesitating, and now going wobbly down the left side. All alone is Harmon at the Packer 39-yard line.
I started to say, before you asked me that question, 38 is in there. Harmon, he's a big play guy.
Harmon has gained more yards than rushing. He has gained almost 80 yards more catching passes than in rushing. In fact, his 40-yard catch against the Giants was his 4th for 20 or more, so add another one.
He's a big play guy, whether it's running or passing. He gives you everything he has. Now, that was possible because of a lack of pass rush and then Theismann's ability to scramble.
1st and 10 on the Packer 39. Malone goes out on a wing. Theismann in a crowd, but he's got McDaniel inside the 30-yard line. Weaver and Wingo and Hood were all there, but didn't make any difference. John McDaniel made the reception.
Well, by throwing on 1st down like Joe is, he has plenty of protection. He's throwing on a running down, and he can survey the field.
Theismann is 6 for 8. He needs just 11 more completions for his all-time best season in that department. And, of course, tossing a touchdown pass, he now has 14, and that's the best in his career. 1st and 10 on the 28. Theismann on a draw to Harmon, and he's inside the 25-yard line.
Well, Harmon can play fullback. He can play halfback. He can run inside. He can run outside. He's a good short receiver on circle routes, and he can go deep.
Here's a very big ball game. Philadelphia leading Detroit 7-0. Phillies can clinch at least a wild card berth with a victory over Detroit. A win would assure them a 9-3 record within the conference, which could be matched by only 2 of the remaining contenders, Dallas and Washington. So that's a big game. All right, 2nd and 6 from the 24 for the Skins. Theismann handing to Riggins, and Wingo hit him, held on to him until he got some help.
Well, I don't know whether we can see that again, but 53, Mike Douglas has to get across. Now, Wingo made this play. I like Wingo. What I've seen of Wingo, he's going to be a good one. Now, you don't see 53 yet, Mike Douglas. See, he's being blocked. He's got to get rid of that blocker. Malone can't tie him up like that. He's got to get across, use his hands, throw the blocker aside, and force him to cut back, force the runner to cut back.
3rd and 3. The ball is on the Packer 21-yard line. 7-7 with a little over 11 minutes to the half. And Theismann on a keeper. There he goes. 1st down and out of bounds at the 9.
And again, I'll repeat, that's the play of the right linebacker, the right defensive end. They're playing soft over there. You got to stay at home. They fake what we call a Baltimore late. It's a run all the way. A guy like Theismann, it's a good play. Now they're hurting the Packers' right side, like the Redskins were hurt on their right side against the Giants last week.
You know, Theismann has rushed for well over 140 yards now. In fact, his longest rush of the year, 22 yards. And Joe has also scored 3 touchdowns running, so he's accustomed to moving the pigskin. And it's 1st and goal on the 9. Play action fake to Riggins. Theismann with all day, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Johnny Gray picked it off, and the Pack has dodged a bullet.
He did not want to throw to the strong side. He wanted to throw to the weak side. He had too much protection. Many times, I know that sounds crazy, many times a quarterback can have too long to throw, and by the time he comes back, the defense can react right into Johnny Gray.
For Joe Theismann, his string of 95 is snapped by Johnny Gray, who made his 4th interception of the year. And so the Packers get a turnover and take over 1st and 10 on their own 20. Remember, it was 1st and goal for the Skins on the 9, so that was a big play. Dickey throwing to Andre Thompson, no good, and coming up to belt him was Joe Lavender.
The reason that wasn't complete, that was Dickey's fault. That ball should have been completed. He had a one-on-one, Thompson on Joe Lavender, but he threw the ball behind him. I like the fact that Dickey is thrown on 1st down, that Zeke is sending the plays in, throwing on 1st down, because they're not doing much running.
You know, the Packers have not won a ball game on the road since they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers late last year. In fact, they've only won 11 out of 49 on the road, so they're a big ad for home cooking. And Dickey releasing Racing now to Simpson. He fumbles and then falls on it. Gets up and keeps on moving out across the 25 to the 28. Talbert and Bacon finally bring him down.
You know, Dickey then is not as mobile as he used to be since he had the injury, but he showed a little mobility there. He got away from that.
Ball moved out to the 27 if that's where they spark it. However,
number 23 on a defense.
A penalty against Tony Peters of Washington.
This is Tony's first start since Kenny Houston got injured last week. We might take a shot at Tony Peters. He's a good football player, and I think Redskins made a good deal in getting him from Cleveland.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 23 defense. First down.
So the personal foul against Tony Peters, automatic first down, and brings it out to the Pack 43. So they actually picked up 23 yards on a busted play. First and 10 on the Packer 43. There goes Torkelson. Torkelson across the 45 out to about to the 48, and we might duck in a score or two for you. First of all, the Jets in Baltimore tied up as Mickemeyer has just kicked a 20-yard field goal. Chicago on Walter Payton's 1-yard run made it 7-0. And as we just mentioned, Mickemeyer's field goal tied it up at 3-3 in that one. So the ball at the 49. Second and 4. Simpson. He's got a first down and more. He's down to the Skins 40-yard line.
Then the last two plays, they've run what we call up the gut. Not this last play, but the previous play. Torkelson did a good job of reading Opowitz and cut back and picked up about 5 or 6 yards. The last play was a quick hitting trap.
And you know, when you realize that Green Bay fumbled the ball away earlier, they had a pretty good drive going. It looks like they're able to move the ball against Redskins.
Yes, very true.
First and 10 on the Skins 40-yard line. 7-7 tie. Torkelson trying to get outside Lorch. Makes his cut, and it's good for 5 yards. At least. He gets inside the 35, chased by Mark Murphy. Zeke Bratkowski. From the telephone upstairs down to Zeke. Or do you think Bart Starr has anything to do with the plays?
Oh, yes. Bart okays. Everything has been checked out with Bart during the week and on the sideline. That's Curry, the offensive line coach, next to Zeke there.
Second and 2 on the Redskin 32-yard line. Andre Thompson is wide left. And it'll be Torkelson. First down. So Torkelson busts inside the 30-yard line, and the Pack is moving.
They're working on the Redskins' defensive tackles. We call them the I men because they're inside, and the middle linebacker, Opowitz. We'll have to see what the Redskins are going to have to do to adjust on that, because instead of getting hurt off tackle like they did last week, now they're getting hurt up the gut. The 0 and 1 hole.
It's amazing. 1 minute Torkelson fumbled away the ball. The next minute Theismann had a pass intercepted, and here's the Pack moving back. First and 10 on the Redskin 29. Second man, and that's Nate Simpson, and he is buried at the 25-yard line. Dave Butts hit him.
Ben Simpson runs pretty good in there. He runs these last couple of plays. He looked like a better back than he appeared to be earlier. The interesting thing here, I think, is that the Redskins, I'm sure, came in thinking good pass rush, and sometimes when you're playing pass over run, you get hurt on the run.
We have a score. An 11-yard run by Earl Campbell. Houston and Cincinnati all tied up 7-7. So it is second and 6 at the 25. Kaufman in motion to the right, and it's a draw, and there goes Torkelson inside the 20 to the 19. Monty Coleman hit him from behind along with Coy Bacon.
I don't know whether our fans saw it, but Torkelson has 2 hands on that football.
Yeah, when he made that fumble earlier, he looked like he wanted to leave town.
Yeah, it slowed him down, takes away his body movement, but he had 2 hands. I'd rather see him do that than take chances the other way.
Another score, Pittsburgh chewing up Cincinnati, not to anyone's surprise, I guess. 17-0. Chris Barnes just kicked a 46-yard field goal.
Boy.
It looks like inches.
Yeah. Here comes the Redskins short yardage defense. 69 comes in.
Perry Brooks.
Perry Brooks. Coy Bacon comes out, and Donnie Harris, 26, comes in, who's a hitter, a very physical player. Richie Pettibone, secondary coach.
So it is 3rd and inches. The ball is on the Redskin 19-yard line, and it's a big play for Lynn Dickey to keep this drive alive. Counting the interception, the Pack started on its own 20, and they've got it just shy of the 19-yard line in Redskin territory. Simpson and Torkelson are the running backs. 7-7 tie. Simpson, and he's walking on people for a first down.
Yeah. Well, he ran a good play. It's what we call 25 M hunts. The fullback leads through the strong side, the 5-hole. The halfback follows him. Doesn't matter what the defense is.
You know, an interesting thing, Nate Simpson made his first NFL start the last time these two teams met in November of '77, and he led the Pack with 47 yards rushing in that game. We can duck in a score. The Eagles have scored again. Jaworski to Carmichael, and they're leading 14-0. The other touchdown, a run by Wilbert Montgomery from 1 yard out. 1st and 10 on the 17 for the Pack. Torkelson on a wing. And Dickey, a little release over the middle to the tight end, no good. Kaufman was tied up by Pete Wysocki, and a flag on the play.
A late flag.
Let's see.
The pass was low, no chance to intercept it or complete it. It's against the Redskins.
Holding defense, 5 yards.
The holding might have been against Carl Lorch. I don't know if we have that play again. On the left side, number 71. I don't know if we can see him. Well, can't see him, but Lorch had both hands on a Packer and was spinning him and tying him up, and then the pass over the middle.
And it also could have been holding downfield. We couldn't see that because it was such a late flag.
So that moves it to the 13. John Riggins, the big gun in the Washington ground attack, taking a brief rest on the sideline. He'll be a busy man before this day is through. 1st and 10 on the Redskin 12-yard line. Second man, and that's Torkelson inside the 10. Lavender and Murphy along with Bacon all in on the tackle.
And they had 2 tight ends in there, which gives the defense another gap to fill. Makes it a little bit tougher to stop in a running game.
2nd and 5 on the Redskin 7-yard line. In other words, they can get a first down just inside the 2-yard line. Andre Thompson goes wide left, Lofton wide right. Torkelson and Simpson behind Dickey. Torkelson inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line, but remember they have to get to the 2. Olkowitz and Bacon in on the stop.
I'll take that back. They didn't have 2 tight ends on that previous play. They had the split end in tight, which made the same relationship as 2 tight ends.
So it is 3rd and 2. The ball is on the 4. A 7-7 tie. 5:43 left in the half. Andre Thompson left, Lofton right, same formation. The tight end, Kaufman on the left side. Pitch back to Torkelson, making his cut, and he's got at least the first down, I believe. It would appear as if he got the first down, although he certainly didn't get to the end zone. He has to get to the 2.
He, Benny, watching him run right now, he's a cutback runner. You notice how he starts wide. He realizes he's not going to have the speed to turn a corner, which is good. 2 hands he had on that football. Depends on where they spot it again.
Dyron Talbot made a last-moment hit. Otherwise, it's a cinch first down. So now let's see. Yes, sir. 1st and goal from the 2.
And that's a tough decision for the coach right there. If it's 4th and inches, do you kick a field goal or do you go for the first down?
You know, talking about the coach Bart Starr, even though he's had only 1 winning season since joining the Packers, only 4 active head coaches have been with their present teams for a longer period, and they've all been consistent winners. Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Don Shula, and Bud Grant.
Interesting comment.
So 1st and goal from the 2. And it'll be Simpson hurtling end zone touchdown. He broke the plane, and would you believe the Green Bay Packers are out in front, and this crowd is unhappy. Take another look.
Here's Simpson going over the top and breaking the plane. There's the goal line, no question about it.
So a touchdown, and for Simpson, as he comes pounding in, that would be his first touchdown of the year. Tom Burney, who got the tying point after, now trying to round it off and make it 14-7 Packers. Tim is 3 out of 6. The spot by Wagner. The kick is up. The kick is good. With 4 minutes and 59 seconds to the half, the Green Bay Packers have surprised the Washington Redskins, and they're leading them 14-7. Tim Burney spotting the ball at the 35 with 4:59 to the half. The Packers leading the Redskins 14-7. Bobby Hammond is deep, flanked by Ike Forte and Donnie Harris.
You know, Ben, the big play in that last drive was that penalty on Peters.
Unnecessary roughness.
Got him out of the hole, gave him pretty good field position.
That gave him a first down on the 43, and they really cashed it in. There's Bobby Hammond trying to bust one, and there's Tim Burney. And Burney, a low knuckleball kick, and it will be fielded by Harmon at the 17, and Harmon is out across the 30-yard line. So Clarence Harmon fielding that knuckleball and bringing it back. It was Steve Wagner hustling down to make the tackle.
Not a very good kick. Harmon did the right thing. Harmon is the type of guy that's in the right spot at the right time.
They'll spot the ball at the 32. So it is 1st and 10 Skins. They're down 14-7. 4:50 in the half.
I would think Joe would come out throwing.
He has Warren, the tight end, on the right side. Danny Buggs and Ricky Thompson in a slot left. The running backs are Riggins and Malone. Play action fake to Riggins. Theismann, a little release to Riggins, and Steve Luke read the play and brings him down just about at the line of scrimmage.
Steve Luke did a good job there. Made a good tackle. Joe went play action and hit the second back out, which is usually a short pass, and you hope everybody gets depth on that.
So it is 2nd and 10. As we said, the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. McDaniel now going wide left, and they shake Don Warren, the tight end, loose. Harmon is in there with Riggins, and Harmon is going to carry the football. Wingo couldn't grab him, neither can Hood, and he goes out of bounds. But both Wingo and Hood should have brought him down.
I don't know whether we can see that again, but Harmon had a change of pace. He's an underrated football player. Now, this is a draw supposed to come inside. Now watch him shake a tackler. Now watch that little move around the corner. A free agent from Mississippi State, and what a job this guy has done for the Redskins.
Out across the 45 before they bring him down. Mike Douglas eventually bringing him to the turf, number 53. So Riggins, we figured he was going to be very busy, and there's no doubt about that. John, among other things, is chasing Lydell Mitchell and the NFL's all-time top 10 in rushing yardage. He's averaged almost 60 yards a game in the last 4, and he's done it the hard way without the benefit of a single run of 10 yards or more. He's just grinding them out.
Danny Buggs is in there with Thompson now.
1st and 10 on the 46 of Washington. John Riggins with Malone blocking, but Malone unable to get off a good block, and Riggins paid the penalty for it.
Well, Riggins tried to go wide, could not go wide, and the cutback man made the play.
I'll say one thing. They were telling us that Benny Malone was really badly banged up, but he's out there and doing everything.
Yes, he is.
The old story of playing hurt in the NFL, just another paragraph to that story.
He's a tough football player and wants to play, and that's an admirable characteristic.
So it is 2nd and 10 from the 46. Harmon and Riggins. Thompson in a slot left inside McDaniel. Theismann under a rush. I don't know whether he fumbled or in the act of passing, and the arm was going forward,
yes,
so it is considered a broken pass play. And it was Barber, along with Ezra Johnson, who got him.
His arm was going forward. You described it perfectly well. The elbow was moving forward, and it's incomplete pass.
Well, we were saying Philadelphia can clinch a wild card berth with a win, and are they after that wild card at least, not to mention the championship of that particular division, leading 21-0 over Detroit. And the latest score, Jaworski to Carmichael again for 24 yards. 3rd and 10 on the 46. 40 and Harmon. Barber trying to get in, but he can't, and the pass is too low for Harmon to catch it. John Anderson, who has a bad ankle, number 59, nevertheless, he was right in there with him.
The Packers dogged on that. Joe didn't have the time to get set and throw the ball. It's a real low pass and a little bit behind.
Now, let's see about that point that you made, George. Howard Sampson, number 36.
Yes.
Of Green Bay. We'll see if his number is rather prominent in this punt situation for Mike Bragg. Deep is Johnny Gray, standing on the Pack 20-yard line. Good snap. Got it away, and no one was even close. Gray letting the ball bounce inside the 20, and the Skins surrounded as it goes dead at the 17.
Well, the Packers did the right thing. They played it safe, conservative. Don't take any chances of roughing the kicker. Get away from a bouncing ball.
So 2 minutes and 16 seconds to the half. Green Bay 14, Washington 7. 1st and 10, Green Bay on its own 17-yard line. Jack Pardee trying to shake up his Skins along with Richie Pettibone. The Pack leading 14-7. Both teams have 3 timeouts left in the half. And we have 16 seconds, as you can see, to the 2-minute warning. 1st and 10 on the 17. In motion is Lofton. And here comes Torkelson. And he is hit right at the 20-yard line and bent backwards.
Well, they took away the cutback. He started wide, and everybody had inside leverage on him.
Bart Starr, the 8th Packer coach. He's in his 5th year. In 2 Super Bowls, completed 61% of his passes in the Super Bowl. Led the NFL passing 3 years. Quite a man. 14-7 Pack. Zeke Bratkowski along with head coach Bart Starr, quarterback Lynn Dickey. Interesting point to make about the Packers. The Packers rank last in the NFL in ball control, and yet it would appear as if they have really had their share of holding on to the leather in this first half. It's a different Packer game.
We should see the Redskins defense taking timeouts. The Packers wanting to make at least 1 first down so they don't have to punt deep in their own territory. The Packers might come up with a good play action pass here that could break for some yardage.
2nd and 7 on the 20. And of course, when you think of a play for yardage, you think of Lofton, number 80. They haven't gotten the ball to him yet today. They stay on the ground with Torkelson, and he's out to the 25-yard line, almost to the 26. So it'll be 3rd and about 2, and you can see Jack Pardee's hand saying call time. The clock's still running, however.
Well,
got it down to 1:48.
You see what I mean, Vince? I'm not trying to be critical, but every second is vital. They wasted 5 seconds. If you're going to take time out, take it right away, like that. The 5 seconds may be the difference of kicking a field goal, blocking a punt. Most of these games go down to the final second. You waste 5 seconds there, nobody thinks anything about it.
And then all of a sudden, with 3 seconds left, you're coming to the half struggling to get on the scoreboard. It is 14-7 in favor of Green Bay. 1:48 to the half. And the familiar sight of Lynn Dickey talking to Zeke Bratkowski. Again, let's get back. We have a moment to talk about it. With a veteran quarterback, you would expect that he would be allowed to call his own plays. But at the same time, Lynn has really not had much playing time this year.
No.
So maybe they feel they should lead him along
That's
a bit.
right. He played 1 quarter against Miami, I believe. And then he played about a half last week against the Eagles. Other than that, but I think he has a little more leeway than Whitehurst would have. I'm sure, because you don't want to take away that good experience that he's accumulated over the years and make him a robot.
A score, Chicago leading Tampa Bay 14-0. Mike Phipps has just passed to Dave Williams for 13 yards in the 6-point. So it is 3rd and 2. Big play on the 25. And it'll be Simpson. And he barrels to the 30, and that would appear to be enough for the first down.
Yeah.
And Jack Pardee running his fingers through what's left of his hair, and this kind of a ball game will remove a few more follicles.
Well, they still should use their timeouts. He should still use the timeouts.
Clock running down, as you can see, 1:28.
And Vin, the thinking there is force the offense to put the ball in play as many times as possible and try to force a mistake.
First and 10 on the Packer 30. And of course, we mentioned the Pack has fumbled 20 times this year. Play action fake over the middle, and they've got Lofton, and he's out at the 45-yard line. So there's the man we expected to see, and they finally got the ball to him.
That's the one we were talking about earlier. Good call, real good call. Now the Packers are on offense.
So they've moved the ball out to their own 45, where it's first and 10. Dickey again going to put it up. And a little release, and he's got Simpson at midfield, and he spins to the 46. Tony Peters trying to bring him down, and Dusek finally did.
Now the Packers should be using their timeouts.
And they have done just that with 42 seconds left to the half. James Lofton, who made the catch, is the #1 offensive weapon for the Packers. He's caught 20 for an average of almost 20 yards over the past 4 games. He has hit the 100-yard mark in 2 of the 4, had 99 in another. And he's caught 15 for 20 or more. So what we're trying to do is, if you expect Green Bay to hit somebody with lightning, you expect that lightning to be Lofton.
He's a home run hitter. Tullis just came in 87, and the Redskins countered with their pass rushing and nickel personnel.
We have a reminder about Monday night on CBS. The White Shadow, MASH, WKRP in Cincinnati, and Lou Grant. Great lineup. Sure hope you'll join us right here on CBS Monday night. Timeouts to the half. The Packers have 2 left. The Skins have 2 left. But the most important thing is the Packers have the ball, and they have it 2nd and 1 on the Redskin 45. Remember, they started on their own 17. Dickey sending Tullis left. He's the boy who scored that 52-yard touchdown pass. Thompson and Lofton in a slot right. And it'll be Torkelson running straight ahead. And on a 2nd and 1, he picked up the first down.
Now you should take your timeout, which they aren't doing.
The ball on the Redskin 43, and the clock ticking away those precious seconds. And Dickey very slow in getting over the center. Under a rush, and Dickey is going deep. All alone is Thompson. Touchdown! Andre Thompson all alone.
That's right. Did he beat him? Boy.
For Andre Thompson, his 3rd touchdown reception of the year.
He beat Lamar Parrish. The Redskins did not dog. He had good protection. We said if Dickey has the time to throw, here it is. If he has the time to throw, he'll have a good game. Wide open.
Tony Peters is a mere echo behind Andre Thompson, number 23. So surprisingly, shockingly, the Packers 20 and the Redskins 7. And now Tim Burney trying to make it 21. The spot by Wagner. The kick is good. With 16 seconds to the half, we can take one more look at that bomb from Lynn Dickey to Andre Thompson.
4-man rush. Good protection. Dickey throws a perfect bomb. Thompson has beaten Parrish and Peters if they had inside-outside on him. Now, I'm sure the Redskins were also concerned about 80 and 87.
George, this is hard, I'm sure, but still we should ask it. In looking down at the field, the Redskins came in, better than a touchdown favorite. Did they look flat to you?
You know, it's interesting you asked that. This is a note I put in the first quarter. Non-emotional. Not emotional.
And I'm surprised before a highly partisan home crowd at RFK.
Well, it's still early. They still got a lot of time.
Not much in the first half. 16 seconds. It is 21-7 Green Bay. Tim Burney will be kicking to Bobby Hammond deep on the goal line, flanked by Ike Forte, number 30, Donnie Harris, number 26. And up front, if they decide, Dubinetz and Dean and Harmon. And it's going to be a knuckleball, but it clears Harmon, goes to Hammond at the 9. To the 25. He's got some daylight. And he's dragged down at the 38-yard line by Walt Tullis, the guy who scored the touchdown.
The guy that we wanted for defense.
And Jack Pardee with 10 seconds to the half. Meanwhile, Philadelphia leading comfortably over Detroit 21-0 in the second quarter.
Now, the Redskins behind like this, you got to put a bomb up. You got to go deep. Go for a big play, a penalty, a tip ball, a long completion.
1st and 10 on the Redskin 39, and they go loading up the left side. Trips out there. They have Malone, McDaniel, and Thompson. Theismann thrown on the run. Deep to Ricky Thompson. No good. Broken up by McCoy. So McCoy over there to handle it. Thompson was just about out of bounds anyway.
You know what took place there? He had him open, but he didn't throw it soon enough. And by the time he threw it, the man was on the sideline and the defense recovered.
One thing the Packers are doing, if they are not getting the great pass rush for sacks, they are making Theismann move out of the pocket a little more.
Yes, they are. And Vinny, that's a good point because he did it with 3 men.
Right.
3-man rush that time.
I'll tell you one fellow who's putting a lot of heat on him is number 70, and that is Barber. And Robert Barber out of Grambling has been very prominent over there, even though he hasn't made a sack. And Barber's going to get it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Great call.
Once in a while you get lucky.
Call. He started out and beat him to the inside. They got him in a trade, a 4th pick.
Listen to the Wolves, and they're in every stadium throughout the land in every sport.
All you got to do is get behind.
That's right.
No matter where they are.
The Green Bay Packers are leading Washington 21-7. Ricky Thompson caught Andre Thompson caught a 20-yard touchdown pass to give the Packers a lead. Dickey hit Tullis to tie it up. Then Simpson scored from the 2. And a 43-yard pass to Andre Thompson by Lynn Dickey put him out in front 21-7 at the half. A shock.
You know, one other thing, and we've mentioned it before, we haven't mentioned it today. When you score the first time you have the ball and you score early and easily, there's something about that over the years that there's a tendency to let down.
And you know, the Redskins had a 1st and goal on the 9-yard line and looked like they were going to drive easily to take the lead. Johnny Gray intercepted in the end zone, and the Skins haven't been heard from ever since. At the half, 21-7 Green Bay. The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. You're looking at number 66, Ted Fritsch. He's 29 years old, 8 years out of St. Norbert's, and we're taking his picture particularly for the good folks in and around Green Bay because the name Fritsch is synonymous with the Green Bay Packers. His dad was a great one.
Yes, he was. I knew his dad, and I know his family, and we want to extend them our best wishes. And Tony is a tremendous football player and a great individual. He's done a wonderful job for the Redskins.
When the Packers won their storied championship in the bitter 16 below zero, he climbed the goalpost, broke off a piece of the goalpost, but then showed he was truly a professional, even at 17, because he sold it for $50.
A businessman.
Anyway, there he is, Mr. Fritsch indeed.
And we got him just before we opened the season in '76. Because he was the best snapper in the National Football Conference.
So Ted Fritsch, just another small part of this big Washington-Green Bay rivalry. And you're looking at Tim Burney, who was born in Glasgow, Scotland, went to school at Michigan State. Chester Markle injured his leg against the New York Jets, and Burney has been kicking ever since. Bobby Hammond is standing on the goal line. That's Ike Forte, number 30, on his right, and on his left, Don Harris, 26. So it is 21-7 Green Bay. Vin Scully along with George Allen, and here we go in the second half. Hammond will take it in the end zone, and he will not run it out. So Washington will put it in play. 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Now, you know, right here, from a coaching standpoint, talking not as an announcer but a coach, you got to tell your offense the first series on offense, offsides Green Bay, we have to put some points on the board. We got to score the first time we get that ball, whether it's a field goal or not. Now there's the first little break right there. First little break right
Offside,
there.
kicking team, number 20. 5 yards, free kick.
Wiley Turner.
That's Wiley Turner, and the 5 yards could be a lot more than 5 yards. There's Wiley Turner, who was guilty of over hustling, I guess, at worst. He's a rookie out of Angelo State who was acquired by the Packers just before game number 4. But to get to the point, it also means that Hammond will probably have a chance to return. So if Bobby gets it beyond the 20-yard line, well, then this 5-yard penalty could be more than that in real terms. So
and, you know,
Bernie tees it up on the 30.
Yeah, excuse me. And now Wiley Turner's way out on the end. His being a step or two ahead of the ball doesn't mean that much, you see. Now this time he'll probably take off a little bit slowly and be a step behind.
So Bernie kicking off from the 30. Hammond is standing on his own 7. Forte is on the 10, and Harris is on the 15. And Bernie gets a pretty good kick, but nevertheless Hammond is going to make a run with it at the 5. To the 10, 15, 20, 25, 26-yard line. So they actually picked up 6 yards on the penalty. Instead of starting on the 20, they're out at the 26. Jim Gano made the tackle, and now we'll see if the Redskins can come back. They're down 21-7 in what should be a whale of a second half.
Should be a great second half, because Green Bay's not used to being ahead like this. Green Bay just put their hands together in the huddle. The defense all held hands, which shows you something in the way of togetherness.
1st and 10 on the 26 for Theismann. Riggins and Malone, the running backs, and it'll be Riggins. They go to the big man at the outset, and the pack stacks him up. Maybe he got a yard or so, but among others, Robert Barber, who made the last play of the first half on a sack of Theismann, and he makes the first defensive play. Here's the defensive huddle for the pack, and see them a couple of hands held there for the moment.
Here's a team that's last in the NFC on defense, and this is in their hands now. If they play good defense, they have a chance to upset the Redskins.
So it is 2nd and 8, the ball on the 28-yard line. Play action fake to Riggins. Theismann all night to throw to Riggins, and Wingo ties him at the 35 and then gets help.
You know what you said all day to throw? The draw held the Packers rushman, and somebody yelled draw, which you're supposed to do to alert them, draw or screen, and they held up, and Joe had a chance to dump it off to Riggins and maybe pick up a first down.
There are the numbers, as you can see. Theismann is 7 for 13, but look at Lynn Dickey. He's 10 for 13, and probably one of the biggest single plays, which is not up there. Theismann had it 1st and goal on the 9 and threw one in the end zone to Johnny Gray for the interception, and that's really been one of the 3 big plays, I guess, in the first half.
Exactly. That stat that's not on there.
Bart Starr at the helm of the Packers, trying to come up with a victory for pride, if nothing else. For Washington, of course, almost in desperate straits, battling for a playoff hope. So it is 3rd down, inches for a first down. There goes Riggins, and he's got the first down out to the 40-yard line.
Well, you know, Charlie Johnson made the tackle, but, you know, again, going back, what we said, this first series for the Redskins on offense is going to tell the tale of the second half, the tempo of this entire ballgame.
Well, they got a break on the offsides on the kickoff, so they started on their own 26 instead of their 20. They've immediately moved it out to the Redskin 40-yard line, and it's 1st and 10. Malone and Riggins. Thompson is right. Danny Buggs is left. Backs are staying in, and now they release, and they overthrow Malone.
Well,
he just led him a little bit.
And that's why Clarence Harmon comes in passing situations.
Meanwhile, that's Andra Thompson, number 89, who scored a touchdown pass. And let's see. Is it Stickum for the fingers? It looks that way,
yeah,
George.
Looks like they're trying to get something for the chilly weather.
2nd and 10 on the 40-yard line for Joe Theismann and company. 21-7 Green Bay. Start of the 3rd quarter. Thompson left, McDaniel right, and Harmon is in there now with Riggins. And Theismann over the middle, and he's got Don Warren, the tight end, for a first down in Green Bay territory at the 46. Mike McCoy there to finally make the tackle, but Don Warren, the big reception, number 85.
And Don Warren hooks outside. Watch him hook outside, away from the defender. If he hooks inside, the ball's broken up. Don Warren was a good selection. He's doing a fine job for the Redskins.
Duck in a score. The Jets 20, Baltimore 3 at the half. 1st and 10 on the Pack 46. McDaniel and Buggs in a slot right. Theismann is going to the right side to Danny Buggs. And Hood neckties him out of bounds at the 36.
Hood almost went for the fake. Danny faked in and then went around. Hood's responsibility is turn him in.
So Joe Theismann trying to move his Redskins. Are down by 2 touchdowns. Interesting for Theismann, he started every game this year. If he starts each of the remaining games, would you believe he'd be the first Washington quarterback since Sonny Jurgensen almost 10 years ago to start every game? 1st and 10 on the Pack 36. And here goes Harmon. And Jones will belt him at the 35. That's Terry Jones, 2 years out of Alabama.
Terry Jones showed some quickness on that play. The hole opened. It looks like Harmon was going to bounce to the outside, and Jones got off the block and made the play.
Washington has a record of 5-2 against other teams in the division. They still have to play Dallas. Philadelphia winning handily. And you can see that Buffalo now is leading Denver 10-3. Nick Mickemeyer kicked a 28-yard field goal to add to that. 2nd and 9 on the 35. Thompson goes right. Malone is back in there behind Riggin. Here comes Malone. Flag on the play, and Malone is inside the 30. But wait until we see the interpretation of the flag. Offsides against Green Bay. That's the preliminary signal. The officials today, the referee is Chuck Heberling, and the umpire is Ed Fiffick. Head linesman Ray Doted. Line judge Bruce Alford. Then you have Paul Bates, Dave Parry, and Bill Stanley. Washington starting on its own 26.
Here's where you need leadership. On the Green Bay defense, you got to fire it up. Test the character. Don't let them go down score.
Defense, number 70, 2nd down.
Now the Redskins got to keep it going. They're coming in with their passing personnel.
The penalty was against Robert Barber. We saw him make the sack, and there's Dave Hanna hoping that a somewhat beaten up Green Bay defensive unit can somehow hold it all together. 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and about 4 from the 30. Play action fake to Riggins, and now a screen to Riggins, and Charlie Johnson read it and dropped him.
Yes, he
The
did.
rookie out of Maryland, and of course coming back to Washington, I'm sure he's given a little extra effort.
Big play by Charlie Johnson. Big play. Charlie Johnson shows why he's playing in there. He showed good quickness, and he took the right angle of pursuit.
He was a 3rd-round draft choice this year. He's 6'2", 262. So Hanna got a big play from Charlie. And now it is 3rd and 5. The ball back on the Pack 31, so they actually lost a yard on the play. And the Redskins taking a timeout awfully early for that, George.
Yes, it is. I hate to see a team use timeouts until that 2-minute period. It's so vital to keep
the
those.
crowd didn't like it at all. 3rd and 5 on the Green Bay 31. Washington starting its drive on its own 26. It's 21-7 Green Bay. 10:45 left in the 3rd. Harmon, Thompson, and Forte in a full house for the moment. And they're all staying there. Coming in and putting on some pressure is Barber, but there goes Theismann. So Theismann goes out of bounds at the 16, and Dave Hanna beside himself.
Well, You know what? You hate to have the receivers covered and be in the right defense and then have the quarterback scramble for first down. I know how he feels.
You'll see Mike Douglas, number 53, along with Barber, number 70. Then coming over is Terry Jones, and there's Anderson, and he got by Anderson for a couple of more yards.
Barber came in too tight. Then Barber is the contain man on that.
So it is 1st and 10 on a big play for Theismann on the 16-yard line. John Riggins with Malone blocking on Douglas, and he got outside Douglas, and that makes the play go.
Yeah, this is what we talked about earlier in the ball game. Riggins can come up and push off and go outside. There's nobody getting across and no containment.
Mike Douglas, number 53, was unable to turn the play in, and that added additional yardage for John Riggins. Benny Malone put a pretty good block on Douglas, but he didn't really knock him down. Mike was just turned out, and he's had second year from San Diego.
You can't trade 1 for 1. If you trade 1 for 1, you're on defense.
So it is 2nd and 2 on the Packer 8-yard line. Harmon and Riggins behind Theismann. And Theismann floating one in the end zone. Danny Bugs, touchdown. But the big play was 3rd and 5.
Well, they did what they had to do. First series on offense, they went down and scored.
Theismann with a lot of protection. Weaver couldn't get at him, neither could Barber, and he had plenty of time to loft it to Danny Bugs. And for Danny Bugs, his first touchdown cast of the year. That's somewhat of a surprise.
And he's caught 10 passes in some ball games.
He's caught 37 for the year, but only 1 for the TD. Mosley's point is good.
Low snap.
So Bart Starr grimly looking on as we take one more look. You'll see Theismann, and Weaver goes right by. He had plenty of time to hit Bugs for the touchdown. And it is 21-14 Green Bay. 10:25 left in the 3rd quarter. Not only has he tied the club record with 172 points after touchdowns, but Mark Mosley, kicking 2 today, has kicked 77 of his last 78 over 3 years. You talk about a model of consistency as you look at Andre Thompson, the deep man for Green Bay.
No better kicker in football than Mark Mosley.
Mosley kicking to Thompson, but he'll be flanked by Ricky Patton and Cassidy on his right. Typically high kick. Andre Thompson taking it on the Packer 10. Picks it up after the muff. Still on his feet, bumping into people, and he's lost in a crowd.
Well, already the tide has changed. The Packers were scored on immediately. He didn't look the ball in. He had trouble picking it up. It's a wonder he didn't fumble it there. So
down they go with half the Redskins on his back.
Now it's up to the Redskin defense to stop them. It's up to the Packers offense. 48. Looks like 48.
It's probably the return man, Andre Thompson, with all of the Redskins on his back as he strained to atone for the muff. And he no doubt was in an awkward position when he hit heavily with all of the skins on top of him.
Well, in that situation, you're better off to go straight ahead. Don't dance around, try to get in the extra yardage. See as he dances around, you're hit from all angles.
Milot got him, Coleman, and then here comes the Redskin team picture to bring him down.
He can pull a groin muscle and that type of thing.
So Thompson still being ministered to, and again we go back to the note that we gave you earlier this year. The Packers have been decimated by injuries. 21 players have missed 2 or more weeks. 14 of them have been on and off the injured reserve list, and Andre Thompson going out with what appear to be a sprained right ankle. Ron Cassidy will take his place, number 88. And now this crowd, 1 minute they were booing the Skins. Now they're trying to exhort the defense to stop Green Bay. 1st and 10 on the Pack 15. Lofton wide right. Simpson. They bury him. Boy, is this crowd loud now. They have come alive.
This crowd fires up your defense. Wysocki's coming out. This crowd inspires the defense to stop them, to take the ball away.
So it is 2nd and 8. The ball is on the Pack 17-yard line.
Monty Coleman in there for Wysocki.
Lofton goes wide left. Cassidy wide right. The tight end Kaufman is on the right side. And Dickey going over to Kaufman, and Kaufman is still on his feet as he goes across the 30-yard line. A big first down for Bratkowski, ticking his plays.
What you do is you write the plays on some adhesive tape it to your wrist, have it inside of your jacket so in case it rains, it isn't going to get wet. That was a big play for the Packers.
Kaufman, a fine receiver. He leads the pack in catches. He had 45 coming in, and he just made the clutch reception. Though it is 1st and 10 on the Packer 32-yard line. 21-14 Green Bay. 9:02 left in the 3rd quarter. Cassidy in motion. Dickey on a deep drop, and he's got Kaufman across the 40 to the 44. Brad Dusek knocked him down. Another first down.
A good call, play action, and Kaufman is a free agent, a self-made football player, lifted, got stronger, improved himself by hard work. That's the type of guy you like to see develop.
He's 2 years out of Kansas, 6'3", 225-pounder. So it is 1st and 10 on 2 Kaufman receptions on the Packer 44. Torkelson and Simpson are behind Dickey, and it'll be Torkelson trying to run away from Coy Bacon, and Bacon got him and dropped him.
Well, Coy Bacon's getting across, getting good penetration. He's in the backfield. He made that play where the inside man should make it, the defensive tackle. They aren't going to run too much on the Redskins, I don't think.
They did a pretty fair job of it occasionally.
Yes,
spot running.
they did. The Redskins are much more emotional now.
2nd and 9. The ball is on the Packer 45-yard line. Cassidy is in a slot on the right side. Inside Lofton. And a rush. There he's down. Talbot and Olkowitz and Bacon and Lortz. They were all in there.
Well, they dogged him.
Well, they lost 10 yards on it. Just about 10. So it'll be 3rd and almost 19.
They had a gut dog. They came right up through the middle. That 30-second clock is winding down.
It's down to 12 and counting. Dickey very calm, but 9, 8. He's got to get a play off. 4, 3, 2. He got it off with 1 to spare. And Dickey, no good. Intended to Turdell Middleton, and Middleton unable to make the catch.
It was right in his hands, and if he catches the ball, he's got some yardage.
That's about his first play of the game.
That's the first time I've seen him in there.
First time in, and he dropped it. So Bobby Hammond goes back to the Washington 20, and the Pack now, it's a case of trying to hang on because this game, and certainly the emotional side of it, has taken a decided twist. On a 4th and almost 19, Tim Burney. The other side of the coin is David Beverly, and Beverly the punter. Originally with Washington, Houston, and Buffalo. Beverly with no one coming has plenty of time, and arrows one back to inside the 10, and Hammond picks it, juggles it at the 2. And he's going to be hit and got away from 2 men, and Landers finally strips him, and the last man to hit him is Casey Merrill to knock him out of bounds. But that was quite a play by Bobby Hammond.
Beautiful, beautiful. He got them out of the hole, and they have fair field position now.
They should have had him inside the 5. David Beverly, who was originally with Washington, Houston, Buffalo, just uncorked a beautiful punt. He had plenty of time, and he made the most of it.
He did 62 yards, and it came at a good time for the Packers.
And Bobby Hammond, after juggling it on the 2, escaped 2 tacklers inside the 5, got it out to the 13, and Theismann is asking the crowd to cool it. 1st and 10 on the Skins 13. Malone and Riggins the running backs, and it'll be Riggins. There he goes. Steve Luke dropped him at the 26-yard line.
Well, it looks like they're just going to tear the Green Bay defense apart. Here they are running weak side again. The defensive end got hooked. The linebacker, 53, is on the ground. He's trading 1-for-1. You can't play defense that way.
They aren't, in all honesty. You talk about eating up a front four, but they have been drilling Mike Douglas, who is 2 years out of San Diego. They're giving that linebacker on that side a bad time. 1st and 10 on the 26. Ricky Thompson in motion. John Riggins again. Weaver can't tackle him. And he get out across the 30. And that was just a case, I think, of bad tackling.
That's right. You know what? It looks like the only way that the Redskins can be stopped is if they stop themselves by mistakes.
So a pickup of 6 to get it out to the 32. That makes it 2nd and 4 on the 32. Gary Weaver is playing for John Anderson. Anderson, of course, a star in the linebacking situation for the Packers, but he has a bad ankle.
Yes.
And Weaver a little on the rusty side, evidently, missing a sure shot for a loss. So it is 2nd and 4 on the 32. Malone now comes out on the line as a little wing. Play action fake to Riggins and a big fake by Theismann. Now he sidearms it to Riggins, and meanwhile there's a flag on the play after Luke let him get away. Steve Luke had hit him, and Riggins was still able to cross the first down chains, but let's see about the interpretation of the flag. It will
Offensive pass interference, number 25, walking downfield.
Benny Malone is guilty of the infraction. Offensive pass interference, blocking downfield.
Well, we just said the only way the Redskins can stop the drive is if they stop themselves.
We have met the enemy and they are us. So it was 2nd and 4 on the 32, and it appeared as if Riggins might have had the first down. Instead, they spot the ball back on the 22.
Pass interference, number 25, offense, blocking downfield. 2nd down.
So keep the down at 10, and it's 2nd and 14. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles breezing over hapless Detroit now, 27-0. The latest, Tony Franklin, barefoot and not, kicked himself a 30-yard field goal. And what a day Harold Carmichael has had. We know he's caught 5 for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2nd and 14. Theismann to Thompson, and he let it get away.
Oh.
There was a gamble there by Estes Hood. He went for the ball.
Yes.
And boy, that flank was wide open if he holds on to it.
The ball was...
And Theismann with time drills it, and a great reception by John McDaniel, and that'll be enough, I believe, for the first down. Yes.
Well, Green Bay went with a 3-man rush. They're trying to jam him on the line of scrimmage, but he got loose and came across. Joe has time to throw with a 3-man rush, gets the first down.
And it was Mike Douglas, the young linebacker, who was trying to jam him and just couldn't do it.
My thinking is I'd rather rush with more people than cover with fewer people. They gave him too much time to throw there.
1st and 10 on the Skins 39, so they converted a 3rd and 14. Here comes Riggins. Johnny Gray hit him at the 45, and he gets very close to another first down.
They wiped out the right side of the line.
You know, we shouldn't be surprised that Theismann completed that 3rd and 14, because Washington has the best NFL's 3rd down offense. They have converted better than 46%.
What?
Jeff Williams of the Skins, watch 53, Mike Douglas, the fellow that we feel they're really picking on, and Williams just runs him out of the ballpark. Look at that.
Yeah.
So Mike Douglas pushed out of the way, and the Skins have moved it 2nd and 1 on the 48. Second man is Harmon, and Harmon has a first down in Packer territory.
Well,
he didn't quite make the 45. They'll spot it at the 46.
Now we're now seeing the Redskins offense playing at an emotional pitch and executing.
21-14 Packers, but it would appear to be a short-lived lead. They led 21-7 at the half. The Skins, the first time they got the ball on their own 26, went 74 yards for a touchdown, capped on a pass by Danny Bugs. And here they come again from their own 13. 1st and 10 on the Packer 46. Theismann, the right side. Harmon being pushed out by McCoy around the 40-yard line. And Dave Hanna, who knows he has the worst defense, and now he sees it being torn to shreds.
In this situation, I'm sure what Dave is thinking, and he has the good mind to know what to do. With as much time as Joe has, you got to do something a little different. You got to dog him. You got to take a chance and gamble, because they're just chewing him up on the ground and in the air.
2nd and 5 on the Packer 41. Theismann with Riggins and Harmon, and he goes slot left with McDaniel inside Bud. Theismann setting up and going for the bomb to Danny Buggs, and he overthrew him. Mike McCoy was going stride for stride with Danny Buggs.
Well, that could be a break for the Packers. Instead of getting their first down, they go for the home run. Now they're 3rd and 5.
Maybe they are that confident that they can run the ball. We'll see. So it is 3rd and 5. The ball on the Packer 41. 2 minutes and 56 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Out goes Weaver along with Charlie Johnson. So the Pack looking past 3rd and 5. They have Harmon all alone now behind Joe Theismann.
3-man rush. 3-man rush.
And it'll be Harmon right into the gang.
And they dog. They dog.
So Theismann passing 2nd and 5 for a touchdown and missed. Then tried to run 3rd and 5.
That's right. That what I said, that going for the bomb backfired on him.
Even so, however, look at that. The top NFL 3rd down conversion team, 60%. And now Mike Bragg coming in to do the punting. He's averaged a little better than 38. He kicked one 74 yards against the Giants last week.
Here's a good time to go for that fake punt right in here. This is a pretty good area of the field to try it.
Johnny Gray standing back on the Green Bay 10-yard line. Hover ready to pick up strays, and Bragg angling for the sidelines, drills it over to the right side of the field, and let's see where they mark it. Looks like about the inside the 15 anyway.
About the 12-yard line.
Right. So with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, it is 21-14 Green Bay. A winning lineup tonight on CBS. 60 minutes followed by Archie Bunker's Place, One Day at a Time, Alice, the Jeffersons, and topped off with Trapper John MD. Tonight right here on CBS. Meanwhile, it's the NFL on CBS, and it's Lynn Dickey at the wheel. The Pack has it 1st and 10 on the Green Bay 13, and they're leading by a touchdown. Simpson running into people at the 15-yard line.
Well, the Green Bay offense has had a lot of time to rest. They haven't had much of a chance. Now they're going to have to make a few first downs here to give the Packer defense a blow. They've been on the field a whole quarter.
And again, we repeat the note we gave you earlier, that the Packers ranked last in the league in ball control. So you're asking for a lot if you expect Green Bay to hold on to the football. 2nd and 8 on the 15-yard line. Lofton is wide left. Tullis is wide right. In motion is Kaufman. And Dickey going deep to Lofton. No good. On a vicious hit by Mark Murphy. Oh, what a tackle by Murphy to jar Lofton loose.
Good throw. Pretty good execution. Murphy made the play. Watch Murphy come in there. Murphy's 6'4", little over 200. Signed as a free agent out of Colgate. Big hands, very physical, smart.
So 3rd and 8 on the 15. That was a big play. Lofton going up the ladder appeared to have it, only to be dislodged by Mark Murphy. They split Torkelson and Simpson, and Tullis in a slot inside Cassidy. Under a rush. Down he goes. Toy Bacon, his 2nd sack of the day and his 11th sack of the year. And Zeke Bratkowski muttering in the phone to the fellas upstairs.
Well, you see the Redskins have their pass rushing personnel, their nickel defense in. They dogged them. Packers couldn't pick it up.
So it is 4th and 17. David Beverly, who got a big punt off moments ago, now kicking to Bobby Hammond, who's at the Washington 45. Beverly having to kick out of the end zone. And the Skins trying to put some heat now. It looks like they're coming. McDaniel just did get blocked out by Gaino. Hammond fielding it at the 50. To the 45 and upended right there. Wagner, among others, hit him. And the Skins are in great field position. Remember the last drive, they started on their own 13 and had to give it up at the 46. And they get it right back again at the Packer 45.
Then I like the way Hammond handles that football. He's a good kick return man. He's sure of himself. He handles that like a shortstop with a baseball. That's a tough position to play, returning punts.
So it is 1st and 10, just inside the Green Bay 45. You have Harmon and Riggins behind Theismann. Joe down the right side to Harmon, and he can't hold it. Estes Hood right there with him.
And one of the reasons he couldn't hold it, Joe wanted to go downfield, couldn't, threw a lot of speed on it, fastball, hard to catch at a close range.
So it is 2nd and 10. We only have 43 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And that scoreboard tells a great deal.
Riggins coming out. Great field position.
Theismann with Malone and Harmon. Warren is on the left side, and he has a slot right with McDaniel and Thompson. There goes Malone with Saul blocking. And Malone is dragged down inside the 40, but he had to get inside the 35.
You know, every time they run that right side, when the game's over, it'll be interesting to see how many yards they made on the right side of the Packer defense.
Meanwhile, the Packer defensive squad go forth along with Cook and many others, getting their defensive signals from Curry. It's 3rd and 5. The ball on the Packer 39-yard line.
Well, they haven't done anything this half. If they're going to stay in this ball game, that offense is going to have to pick it up. Another timeout? No, it's the end of the quarter.
End of the quarter. So that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Green Bay 21, Washington 14. We now pause for a word from your local station. So we go to the start of the 4th and final quarter. It is 21-14 Green Bay, but the Redskins are on the path. They have it 3rd and 5 on the Pack 39. Forte and Harmon, and Theismann throwing high, and the reception being accepted by John McDaniel, and McDaniel is to the 10, to the 5, touchdown.
Well, here it is, 3rd and 5. Previously, I said this series is going to decide the ball game. He's one-on-one with Estes Hood. He jumps up, takes the ball away from him. Hood falls down. Now he reverses his field. You get arm tackling. There's an arm tackle
By Gaino.
See?
Then here comes Gray coming from behind his Wingo, but by the time Wingo gets there, he's in the end zone with Gray and Luke at the bottom for John McDaniel, his 2nd touchdown reception of the year. And how about that? The point is just through, and it is 21-21 with 14:49 left in the game.
Here it is again, 3rd and 5. Joe threads the needle, takes it away from Estes Hood. He reverses his field, gets arm tackling, uses his speed. Touchdown.
To add to that, Mosley is 29 for 29 this year and 78 out of 79 in the last 3 years, while establishing a club mark for points after. Mike McCoy is deep. He has Cassidy and Patton on his left and right. And this ballpark is really alive, all even at 21. High and short. And it'll be McCoy at the 10, to the 20, to the 25, 30, 35. and stepped out of bounds, and we'll see exactly where. At the 38-yard line, it was pushed out by Don Harris, who is one of the speedsters always down under the high kick.
Well, they got fair field position now for Dickey.
So Lynn Dickey, who piloted the Packers to a 21-7 halftime lead, but has then seen the second half all Washington as they have come back to tie it up. Now we'll see about the resiliency of the Pack.
Right.
They have it 1st and 10 on their own 39. Walter Tullis wide right, Lofton is left, and Turdell Middleton is in there with Landers. And it'll be a play action to Landers, and the pass to Lofton, belted by Lavender. Boy, I tell you, Lofton paying a price for every time they throw the ball even near him.
They're trying to get Lofton one-on-one, which they have, but Joe came up and knocked the ball loose. 2 consecutive plays like that. Both plays were first downs.
Mark Murphy drilled him earlier. Now it's Joe Lavender. So 2nd and 10 on the 39.
Tullis is in there now.
And it's Turdell Middleton out across the 40 to about the 44 as Murphy came up to hit him. Turdell Middleton had appeared in just one play previously. He dropped a sure pass. Now running, and we have 3rd and 6. Quick count for Dickey to get his men going. He almost caught Jones, Turkey Jones, on the field for Washington. Over the middle in the crowd. Picked up by Monty Coleman. And Coleman goes out of bounds inside the 40.
Well, it's all Redskins. The Packers are coming apart. He shouldn't have thrown the ball. He threw it right into a crowd.
Monty Coleman, the Redskins feel, will be a great linebacker, rookie out of Central Arkansas.
Watch this. Right in there. Very slim chance to complete that pass. And what they tried to do, Ben, is to call a play audibly so the Redskins couldn't substitute, call it on the line of scrimmage.
For the Packers, a familiar story, their 3rd turnover. 1st and 10 on the Packer 35. Theismann running away from Ezra Johnson and throws the down one, and the tight end is to the 15-yard line before McCoy makes the tackle.
Well, this is a play action, a bootleg type of pass. Ezra Johnson made a heck of a play, but they blew their coverage. Ezra played that exactly the way you wanted to play it.
The Redskins, following the interception, have it 1st and 10 on the Packer 15-yard line. 21-21 tie, 13 and a half minutes left, and Theismann asking the crowd for quiet. He has Riggins and Harmon behind him, and it'll be Harmon hit by Jones and spins forward for a couple of yards anyway. Terry Jones hit him at the line, and Harmon still picked up a couple.
Well, the Redskins, if the Redskins score here, it'll be 3 consecutive series that they've scored on. The Packers haven't done anything on offense. They haven't been able to stop them on defense.
2nd and 7 on the Packer 12. 12:55 left in the game. A must-win situation for the Skins. They were down 21-7, and now they're trying to go out in front. Harmon is in motion. Theismann over the middle to Riggins. And Riggins is going to bust the ball. You're Johnny Gray here, George.
Yeah, well, Joe was looking downfield. They're covered. He dumps it off to Riggins and just strong running, and you could say poor tackling, poor angle.
Mike Douglas and Mike McCoy each had a clean shot at him. And Mosley makes it official. The Washington Redskins, who are down 21-7, now lead Green Bay 28-21. With 12 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game, and it looks like it might even be snowing. 28-21 Washington in the madhouse that is RFK Stadium in Washington. Mark Mosley kicking off. McCoy is deep, flanked by Patton and Cassidy. Low line drive that'll bounce and be fielded by McCoy. He's to the 25, to the 30, 35, 40, across the 45 on a bad kick by Mark Mosley. One of the few times you'll see him get a bad one off.
And again, they've got field position. The only way the Packers can get back into this ball game is a big play on offense, or the Packers defense takes the ball away from the Redskins offense.
Mosley had trouble. Normally he hits the ball high and short. This time he hit a low line drive, and the Redskins really paid the price, because Green Bay now has it 1st and 10 on their own 46. Tullis is in motion to the right. And it'll be Landers after Dickey appeared to trip on the flip. If you take that, either his hands were cold, but Dickey almost faked Landers out of the play.
Yeah, it looked like as he pulled away here, he lost the ball. That's what happened. He lost the ball, slipped up around his wrist and made a delayed play, and they lost 2 yards.
So it is 2nd and 12 on the 44. There's Mark Mosley, who has had a big day most days and has had a fine afternoon today. The question, however, now is whether that poor kickoff will give the Pack a chance to tie it up. 2nd and 12 on the 44. Dickey with Lorch trying to get at him, and Bacon throwing deep to Tullis, and he couldn't hold it. Joe Lavender stripped him after it appeared Walter Tullis had the reception.
Actually, on that play, it was a perfect pass. However, with Tullis' speed, you like to overthrow this type of guy. Overthrow. Let him go to the ball. See, right here, Joe's right with him. Joe misjudged it, and then as he was coming down, he lost it.
So it is 3rd and 12. Dickey just missing making the connection. The ball on the Packer 44. Cassidy, Lofton, and Tullis. Dickey under a rush. Throwing deep, and it is no good. Mark Murphy trying to make the interception, but he was unable to handle it. And Dickey under heat, barely got it off.
He just put it up. No chance to complete that pass. Perry Brooks had a good rush on Dickey, had a delivery sack.
By the way, as you look at David Beverly, today marks the first time in Joe Theismann's career he has had 4 touchdowns passing. So it's a big day for Joe. Bobby Hammond is deep on the Skin 22-yard line. 28-21 Washington, 11.5 minutes left in the game. The Skins are coming, but he just did get it by McDaniel. Bobby Hammond, a fair catch at the 21.
Bobby Hammond showed good judgment there. That ball was sailing, and they were down on it.
So 11:24 left in the game. Washington down 21-7, leads 28-21. Monday night, the White Shadow gets a new star player and a great big problem. MASH, Klinger wishes he had 6 hands in a WKRP in Cincinnati ratings time. And there's good news and bad news. And then Ed Asner stars on Lou Grant. It's all on CBS tomorrow night. 1st and 10 on the Washington 22-yard line. The Skins leading 28-21, 11:24 left in the game. Malone and Riggins behind Theismann. Remember, Joe has passed for 4 touchdowns today. He releases to Riggins, and he gets away from Douglas and is finally brought down at the 30-yard line.
Yeah. Well, Joe made a... Yeah, here's Dickey. Dickey's wondering what can he do to get them going. They haven't done a thing. They made 1 first down this half.
Oh, it is 2nd and 3. The ball is on the 29-yard line of Washington. Thompson and McDaniel on the right, Warren wide on the left, and Riggins following Malone, but the Skins stack it up. Ezra Johnson did a good job of taking the block and still upending the runner.
Ezra, you're right. Ezra made the play himself. 53, Mike Douglas was retreating again. Green Bay offense this half, 34 yards, 7 running and 27 passing.
So it is 3rd and 2 on the 30-yard line, and this is a big play defensively for Green Bay. Meanwhile, look what Philadelphia is doing. They're on a cakewalk, 37-7 over Detroit. 3rd and 2. The backs go out, and Theismann has his man, and that's Harmon, and he's across the 40. Out of bounds at about the 42 for the first down.
They're working that right side. 3rd and 2, they're throwing the ball. That shows you how much respect they have for the defense. 3rd and 2, pretty good running down.
So with 9:40 left, Theismann in full control right now, leading 28-21. And 4 touchdown passes for Joe for the first time in his career. Second man is Malone, but he bumped into Ron Saul's leg, number 64, and Saul's leg actually knocked him down. Malone hit it and bounced back as if he had hit a brick wall.
Saul made the play.
Yeah, right. Ron Saul is about 250.
Here's Walton getting Harmon ready for the next play.
So 2nd and 10 for the Skins on the Washington 42.
Earlier I said the only way the Packers can get into this, back into the ball game, is for their defense to make a big play.
They've been unable to do so. Ricky Thompson in motion to the right. Theismann to Riggins, looking for a hole, and they gang up on him. So John Riggins trying to slant over, and there was no hole. So now it is 3rd down for Washington. We have 8 minutes and 27 seconds left in the game. It's 28-21 Washington. Philadelphia has a lock on its game. They will clinch a wild card berth at least with their victory today.
Harmon's in. Riggins is out. Let's see what the Packers do. Let's see if they dog them here.
3rd and 10 on the 42. Thompson in a slot inside McDaniel. Make that Bugs. Theismann, no good. It was intended to Don Warren, broken up by Gray.
And they dogged him.
So Gray makes the break of the pass and now goes back to field the punt.
That's the first time the Redskin offense been stopped this half.
So Theismann a little disappointed for the moment. And we'll see about Green Bay, whether they can generate any kind of an offense and come back. Green Bay led 21-7 at the half, and Washington has exploded quickly to take a 28-21 lead. Mike Bragg punting to Johnny Gray, who's on the Pack 20-yard line. Gray will handle it to the 30 and maybe fall forward. Ted Fritsch out of Green Bay was the man down there to hit him. Nice touch.
Made a good snap. Made the tackle.
So Fritsch hammers him at the 30. 1st and 10, 28-21 Washington. Tampa Bay can clinch the Central Division title by winning one of its 3 remaining games, but it doesn't look like it's going to be today. It looks like Tampa Bay is going to have to do it against either San Francisco or Kansas City, because Chicago has them 14-0 in the final quarter. 1st and 10 on the Packer 30. 7:49 left in the game. Plenty of time. 28-21 Washington. Dickey getting a rush. Throws it. No good.
Well,
Dave Butts was on top of him.
When Dave gets underway, not too many people are going to slow him down. Now, what Green Bay's been trying to do this half offensively is trying to get back in the game with one big play, trying to hit a home run. And as you mentioned, they had a pretty good running game going for a while there, and that helped them throw the ball. It's going to be tough for them to hit a home run against this defense.
They were running with Torkelson and Simpson, but they have Landers and Middleton in there, and that seems to change the whole game plan. That reception to Tullis, and he lost it. Tullis had it and let it get away. So among other things to complicate matters, the receivers are not holding on to the ball.
Evidently, Andre Thompson is hurt, or he'd be in there.
Yeah, remember, he did get hurt on a punt return.
He's got a little bit better hands than Tullis has.
I'm also wondering what happened to Simpson and Torkelson.
Yeah.
Maybe the plan was to play them throughout the first half and then go back to Middleton.
They got a little more speed in there with Middleton.
So it's 3rd and 10 on the 30.
Already they're 3rd and 10.
Tullis and Lofton go right. Cassidy goes left. Middleton and Landers are split. Lofton in motion. Here comes Butts, and there goes Dickey.
You can't get yourself in a situation where it's 3rd and 10 and have people jet charge and tee off and dog and disregard the run. You can go anywhere. You can gamble. You can go inside, outside, over the man. Dickey's at a disadvantage. When Dickey's had time to throw today, he's done a good job.
I'm surprised with Middleton in there. They didn't try a draw or a screen, something to take away that rush. So it is 4th and 18 on the 22. Beverly just does get it away again from McDaniel. Bobby Hammond on the 38. And Hammond dragged down just as he got across midfield. So Washington in great field position.
Flag on the play. A late flag.
So Bart Starr has seen his offense completely bogged down. His defense worst in the conference, spending much too much time on the field. And Washington has come from down by 2 touchdowns to 1 touchdown in front.
Unnecessary roughness on the return. Number 26, receiving team.
Don Harris of the Washington Redskins was angered on the last punt. He had an exchange of words with Sampson.
Well,
and that would be Howard Sampson. And I think Harris is still hot. Yeah. So on that punt, Harris was guilty of unnecessary roughness. I think he was trying to return the favor in kind.
Number 26 on the receiving team.
One of the reasons that we liked him for the Redskins was just because of that. He's a physical football player, and he plays on defense, and that's what you want.
So that puts the ball back on the Redskin 30-yard line. 1st and 10 on the 30. 7:07 left in the game. 28-21 Washington. Out of the eye, Forte behind Riggins. Thompson in motion. John Riggins. And Riggins still on his feet out across the 40. He might have picked up the first down as he fell forward.
Well, when you're losing like the Packers, it's a matter of inches. It's a matter of seconds. The ball's just thrown a little too short. You just miss a first down. Things don't go your way. They need, defensively right now, they should be firing it up and saying, hey, we can turn this game around ourselves. We got to take the ball away.
There's still plenty of time, a little more than 6.5 minutes. 1st and 10 on the Washington 41. Forte and Riggins, and it's Riggins. Riggins battling for every yard he can get. They stopped him at the 45. Terry Jones was the first of many to hit him.
Well, they showed a little more swarming ability there. There's Joe Walton setting into place. I would think the Redskins right here wouldn't throw too much. They're pretty well under control. Keep the clock going. Don't make any mistakes. Don't put the ball up.
Theismann is 19 for 30, 236 yards and 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So he's going to put it up. It's intended for Bugs, broken up by McCoy.
Almost intercepted too. That's pretty risky.
So 2nd and 6, he went after it, so it'll be 3rd and 6 from the Redskin 45. Dave Hanna saw his defense come apart in the second half, and he's not been able to glue the pieces back together again. But meanwhile, Pittsburgh, a commanding lead over Cincinnati, 34-17. However, a bad note for Pittsburgh. The bulletin, Terry Bradshaw has been injured, and you might just as well use the other word again. 3rd and 6 from the 45. Complete, and that's Harmon, and he's taken down inside the 35 for another first down.
You know what the Packers did that time? They dogged. They ran a stunt. You can see it, and they dogged. Joe was hit just as he released the ball. There it is, by Douglas. Threw a perfect strike to Harmon, he stays in bounds and picks up an extra 5 yards. Big play. That
First and 10.
Kept the drive going.
Ball on the Packer 33. It's all Redskins this second half. A complete turnabout. Forte and Riggins with Thompson in the slot inside McDaniel, and it'll be Forte. Got away from Luke and goes out of bounds. Steve Luke had a shot at him behind the line of scrimmage, and he got away. And I guess in some respects the Packer defensive team is getting tired now. They're missing a lot of tackles.
They've been on the field, and what's happened there in that last play is that Luke didn't get across very well, and he had to try to make a tackle when the runner is turning the corner, turning upfield. If you can get him on his side, now you got the angle on him.
So it is 2nd and 3 on the 26-yard line. Forte and Harmon, and McDaniel is now in there as well. And McDaniel in motion to the left. Second man is Forte, and Charlie Johnson kind of slid down his legs as if he were going down a pole. He finally came away empty, but by that time Forte was falling forward anyway.
Well, all the Redskins really need here is a field goal. They don't need a touchdown. Sure, you'd like to have a touchdown, but you got to think, hey, 10 points, 4 minutes left to play, that ought to do it. So you don't want to take too many chances again.
The study in contrast, a quick glimpse of Bart Starr, a painful look at the head coach of Green Bay. Meanwhile, the all-business look of Jack Pardee as the Redskins have come alive and picked up the first down. For Green Bay, it would be bad enough to lose to Washington, but the fact that they blew a 21-7 halftime lead might be almost too much of a burden to take home.
Well, see, they didn't even break the huddle that time.
First and 10 on the Green Bay 22. 4:24 left in the game. Theismann on play action with Riggins. Joe lobs it to Riggins. Curtis Douglas hit him and bounced off. Johnson and Gray finally bring him down.
Boy, the yardage they've made on the right side, running and passing. Be very interesting to have that breakdown. They're throwing over there. They're working on Mike Douglas. They're working on that right side with play action, and they've run the football over there.
Actually, on that particular play, only a yard pickup, so it's 2nd and 9 on the 21. With Theismann now as a man playing with house money. He's got the ball, he's got the lead, and there's only 3.5 minutes left in the game. Joe to Forte, and Forte with Riggins out in front of him, and they sandwich him just shy of the 15. Rich Wingo, the first man to hit him.
Well, again, if you notice that play, no penetration on the strong side. All Redskin blockers can't help but make 3-4 yards.
And they picked up 5 on the carry to make it 3rd and 4. The ball is on the Packer 16-yard line. 3 minutes left in the game. And Washington leading 28-21.
This will be an interesting study. What are you going to do on defense? What play are they going to run on offense?
Danny Buggs is wide right. John McDaniel wide left. Forte and Harmon are behind Theismann. Both backs go out. And Theismann gets a little heat but completes it to McDaniel, who drops it, and it is ruled incomplete. Estes Hood fell on the ball thinking he might be recovering a fumble, but it was no reception. Consequently, no fumble and no recovery.
Too much time to throw. Look at the protection he has. Look at the time he has to throw here. He has the ball, and then it's knocked loose. Incomplete.
So 4th and 4, and you were saying that Washington only needed a field goal, and they're looking at the right man. Mark Mosley is 22 out of 30 field goals. If he hits his 23rd today, it will be the best in his career. His longest 53 against Atlanta. He has 10 field goals of 40 or more. The spot will be at the 24, so it's a 34-yard field goal. The kick is up. It is good, and that's a big moment for Mark Mosley. 23 field goals, the most in his career in 1 year. And that just about buries Green Bay, 31-21, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. The Redskins have scored 24 points in the second half to turn it around and lead Green Bay 31-21. We have 2.5 minutes left. Mark Mosley kicking off. Mike McCoy deep on the Green Bay 4. And McCoy has to come up and field it at about the 8 to the 20 and to the 23. Don Hover, one of the first men down there. And the second man, Ike Forte. So a lot of hustling on their part.
Well, they had great field position the last 2 times on kickoff returns and didn't do anything. So maybe they'll do better without the field position. They're going to have to get a big play and then go for an onside kick, something like that, or a block punt if they're going to get back in here.
You can see the time of possession is overwhelming in the second half. The Packers had it 1st and 10 on their 46, 1st and 10 on their 30, and now 1st and 10 on their 24. Middleton and Landers are in there. And Dickey hesitating, now lobs it over the head of Terdell Middleton. Monty Coleman was there to defend.
Well, he had pretty good protection there, but he had nobody open on the strong side. And by the time he looked to his left.
You know, George, wouldn't you think that every ball club, and especially a beleaguered team like Green Bay that has given up so many sacks, wouldn't you think that they would have a shotgun offense just because you're being chewed up front?
Yeah, it gives you a little more time to throw. And
I would think so.
Look the defense over.
2nd and 10 on the 24. Dickey with some time. And out of the hands and then almost caught by Cassidy a second time. Ray Waddy, along with Ron Cassidy, colliding. Cassidy almost caught it.
See what Dickey had to do there. He had to throw into the double coverage. He had 2 men on Cassidy, and that's what happens.
Dickey is 12 for 25, 197 yards, but he hasn't completed a pass in quite a while. He's been at that 197 mark for quite a few moments. He's had 2 interceptions. He's thrown 2 for touchdowns, and he's been sacked 4 times.
He's got to get the first down here. Never mind the home run. Get 10 yards. Get 11 yards.
It's 3rd and 10. And Dickey's lob pass is deflected by Joe Jones. At 6'6", he was able to get those meat hooks up and knock it down. And that means the last 3 times that Green Bay has had the ball, they have been unable to come up with even 1 first down.
I think they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Well, Dickey is staying on the field. Tullis is coming in. So on 4th and 10 with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, Green Bay deciding we might just as well gamble. We're not going anywhere. Cassidy, Lofton, and Tullis. Middleton and Landers behind Dickey.
Bart Starr had the team ready to play a good game today. It's too bad it ended like it has.
Dickey has had 11 in a row. No good. Make it 12. It was intended for Lofton. It was broken up by Lamar Harris. So Lynn Dickey suddenly is pitching a no-hitter. He's 0 for 12. And Green Bay gives up the ball on its own 24. And with the 2 minutes left, this ball game is just about history. So Lynn Dickey is suddenly shut out. And with 1 minute and 59 left, 31-21 Washington. Don't forget, on most of these CBS stations, immediately following our game, the second game of today's doubleheader, the Giants at Dallas. We'd also like to remind you about 60 Minutes coming up, 7 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. The game has really changed as much as Lynn Dickey's numbers. He was something like 13 for 17 in the first half and 0 for 12 now. So it is 1st and 10. Washington on the Pac-24. Harmon to the 20 and maybe nosed it to the 19.
And he had 172 yards the first half, 2 touchdown passes, and it was only sacked once for 5 yards.
That's Dickey, number 10, without the helmet. As his day went, and as Washington's day went, so goes the score.
And the Packers just took time out, which is the thing to do.
For Lynn Dickey, of course, he had a marvelous first half. For a fellow who has not played very much, he came up against what appears to be at least a wild card club in the NFC East. He had a great half to lead them 21-7. We'd like to thank our producer, Perry Smith, our director, Tony Verna, Dr. Bob Woods, who gives us all of our statistical help, to all of the other gentlemen who worked so hard to bring this all to you. And a reminder again, the New York Giants, who upended Washington last week, are at Dallas. The Giants are 6-7. They have a tough road to hoe, but miracles have occurred before. They have Dallas, St. Louis, and Baltimore at home. If they win them all, the Giants would make it. The odds heavily against it. 2nd and 6 from the 20. There goes Ike Forte. And I mean goes Forte. Oh! Forte, his first touchdown of the year, and he made it look easy from the 20-yard line.
Well, the Packers will get the ball again.
With 1 minute and 44 seconds, Forte runs it in. It is 37-21 in favor of Washington. Mark Mosley trying for another point to make it 38. So 5 touchdowns and a field goal, 4 touchdowns through the air, 1 rushing. The kick is up and good. So a dispirited band of Green Bay Packers and a euphoric group of Washington Redskins. Washington 38, Green Bay 21. The Redskins have scored 31 points in the second half. They lead 38-21. McCoy will field it at the 4. To the 15. And he will make it just about to the 20. Among others, Don Harris, who's usually first man on the scene. So McCoy, bone weary as he gets up. A reminder, the NFL on CBS. Dallas versus Philadelphia next Saturday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time. And a reminder, all the action begins with the NFL today with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, Irv Cross, Jimmy the Greek Snyder, and Jack Whitaker.
You know, this second half started with Green Bay being offside in the kickoff. You remember that?
That's right. It's been downhill ever since.
Everything has gone wrong after that.
1st and 10 on the Packer 20. Dickey, remember, is over his last 12. Now 0 for 13.
The Packers had 251 yards the first half.
I wish we could talk to Bart Starr and ask him what happened to Torkelson and to Nate Simpson. Eric Torkelson and Nate Simpson played the first half, and now we've been looking at Turdell Middleton along with Walt Landers.
Well, I think it's Torkelson had 59 yards the first half rushing, and Simpson had 30.
Yeah, Simpson scored a touchdown, but we haven't seen them. So it is 2nd and 10. And now Nate Simpson has come back into the game with Middleton. Deep and almost intercepted by Ray Waddy. It was overthrown, intended for Lofton.
Well,
so Dickey just can't find a target now.
He's not throwing with the authority and the confidence that he had early in the ball game.
And we should point out, in talking about the fact that Lynn is now 0 for 14, that several passes should have been caught, appeared to be caught, and were dropped. As you see, Cleveland defeated Houston 14-7. Pittsburgh defeated Cincinnati 37-17. So those are 2 finals.
Cincinnati plays here next week.
3rd and 10 from the 20. Wobbly and almost intercepted by Brad Dusek. That was intended for Simpson. Joe Jones putting a lot of heat. And Lynn Dickey now 0 for 15. It's a litany of frustration to roll off the passes.
Now they're going to go for it 4th down again.
Well, they went 4th down, you remember. Couldn't do anything with it. And Washington immediately cashed in on a 20-yard field goal. Adding to Lynn Dickey, he is now 0 for his last 18. And he's going 4th and 10. And you see that there's another pass that I think should have been caught.
That pass was perfect.
Sure, Ron Cassidy had both hands on it. So when we're calling off the 0-4 with Lynn Dickey, it is not an indictment of Dickey's performance at all.
Yeah.
There have been a good 4 or 5 drops, to say the least.
I can't recall a game where a team ended up quite like this, where they kept throwing and giving the other team the ball around the 20-yard line.
Kim McQuilkin is going to come in and play for Joe Theismann. You know, McQuilkin has only thrown 4 passes all year, and he's in there now to finish up with 1:17 left. McQuilkin, number 11, 6-year man out of Lehigh. Bobby Hammond is in the backfield with Harmon. And McQuilkin handing to Harmon. He runs around Douglas.
Boy, I tell you what, Douglas has had a tough afternoon.
1 minute and 12 seconds left, and it will not be today for Tampa Bay. If they're going to clinch the Central Division, they're going to have to do it another time, because Chicago beats them 14-0. Chicago is now 8-6. Tampa Bay is 9-5. Tampa Bay plays at San Francisco and at home with Kansas City. And Chicago plays at Green Bay and at St. Louis. 2nd and 2 from the 12. And it's Harmon burrowing, and there's a flag on the play.
Well, it's a Redskin offensive lineman beat the charge, beat the ball, charged early.
One minute and 6 left.
Offense, offside.
So with 1:06, this one is almost over. It's just a question of the score. It's 38-21 Washington. The Packers led 21-7 at halftime. The Redskins came out starting the second half breathing fire. And as George mentioned, for Green Bay, it all began being offsides on the kickoff. And they really have not been heard from in the second half. 3rd and 5, the ball on the Pack 15-yard line. And now Green Bay wants another huddle with the official. McCoy and Wingo doing the talking. It was 1st and 10 on the 20.
Well, it isn't a big thing here. The game is over one way or the other. And
for Green Bay, the season is not over yet. They still have to grind it out. And of course, with only a minute left, it's pretty tough to have any heart at all left in you. 3rd and 5 from the 15. Hammond and Harmon, and McQuilkin is just going to drop on his left knee. The crowd doesn't like it. They want to see more points. They've already seen 59 points in the game. They see Washington leading 38-21. For Washington, they scored 30 points against St. Louis and 34 against Dallas. So the 38 is a high for them. For Green Bay, the most points that they have allowed today. Prior to today, it was 27. 4th and 7 on the 17. And McQuilkin down on his knee again. The time is running out. The time is running out for Detroit. It's Philadelphia leading 37-7. Philadelphia then will be 10-4. Dallas 8-5. The Giants 6-7, and Washington will be 9-5. One game back of Philadelphia. So with 20 seconds left on a fall afternoon in RFK Stadium, the Washington Redskins, who had a dismal first half, exploded for 31 points in the second half, and they're leading the Packers 38-21.
The Packers put in Tim Stokes, used to be with the Redskins, number 76 at left tackle.
Tough time to play, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll be blocking Corey Bacon.
1st and 10 on the 18. And Dickey trying to break that string of incompletions. But there's yet another. Coming over was James Lofton. Lofton has had a tough day. They have double teamed him. He's caught 2. Andre Thompson caught 3, and Andre shaken up on a punt return, and we've not seen him. So for the Packers, as you look at Jack Pardee and a winning Washington team, it has just been another day of frustration for Green Bay.
Good job by Jack Pardee and his staff today, coming from behind like that. This is what a play.
Has him around the neck. And Kaufman makes a reception, I believe, at the end of the game. 1 second, and that's it. So Jack Pardee in Washington let a big one get away last week, but not today. They defeat Green Bay 38-21. Washington's record now is 9-5. Philadelphia 10-4. And that Dallas Giant game is even bigger. Vin Scully for George Allen. Hope you enjoyed the ball game. Washington scoring 31 points in the second half. And Green Bay, whatever magic they had in the first half, they left it in the dressing room. So for all of us, stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.